news, oh, oh. I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go, oh. And I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
I know I say it every day, but you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, and we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to your Feel Good Kickstart to the midweek, baby. Yes, it's hump day, and we are here for that. A very good morning. My name is Graham Richards, representing the beautiful Expresso team as we do a deep dive into the kitchen, bringing you some African-inspired recipes. Of course, ahead of Africa Day, a vitally important day where we get to celebrate our culture on a whole different level. And earlier this month, we went to visit the now pretty famous Spade Hotel to get a glimpse of Khayelicha's best and finest dishes, served obviously with ladles of love, bucket loads of love thrown in, and we invited their executive chef, Bolelwa Morara, also known as Chef B, to show us two of her absolute favorite dishes. They are must-haves, from mince curry to creamy mashed samp and potatoes. Get those pens and papers ready. I think we're going to get some kitchen hacks today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Culinary hotline, yes, and a whole lot more to squeeze in between. So let's start that conversation now with the guy who makes me smile the second I see his face every morning. In fact, when I wake up and think of his beautiful face. Good morning, Ewan.
Oh, the flattery is strong with you, young one. Thank you very much. Good morning, South Africa. Ewan Stradamere. Wonderful, wonderful to wake up with you. It's so good. It is so good. And we're excited ahead of Africa Day. And this is what we want to do. We want to start the conversation on social media and say we are gearing up for hashtag Africa Day tomorrow. And we want to know from you, who are your favorite African content creators? It's no secret we have some incredible talent in this space, with creators doing some incredible things with millions of followers. There's vloggers, there's podcasters. We want to know who are some of your favorites out there. We'd love to hear your voice notes. You can share them through. That's our WhatsApp number right there, 063-408-8863. Include that hashtag Expresso Show. Again, we've got so much that can get us so excited with regards to this particular space and the whole of the African continent. So get that conversation started as we get the conversation started on this Wednesday morning with your news headlines. Here's Graham.
Thank you so much, Ewan. Before I dive into the sporting headlines, let's start with our national news first. And the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Sihle Zikalala, says his department is reviewing the government's housing policy for members of parliament and cabinet. Now, Zikalala says there is a clear need to provide housing for officials, but the current model is not affordable. The department is investigating reports of controversial spending on renovations and maintenance of ministerial residences that have hit the headlines recently. Zikalala reiterated that action would be taken against those who flouted procurement procedure. Meanwhile, Zikalala has also said that his department was launching a huge project in which government buildings would be supplied with electricity via alternative energy sources. So the project will be undertaken in collaboration with the state's Technical Advisory Centre and Infrastructure SA, which is a body established by President Cyril Ramaphosa to direct investment to and develop the infrastructure as a result. Zikalala says the project will be able to add more than 1,000 billion rand to the gross domestic product and create some 500,000 new jobs. Now, we cast a wider gaze on the international news front. The Congolese Red Cross has suspended its search for hundreds of victims of recent lethal floods in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC, as it lacks the machinery needed to dig through meters of mud and debris. Now, Red Cross teams have been searching for bodies since early May, when the villages of Boshushu and Nyamkubi, both in the DRC's South Kivu province, were devastated by flash floods at the time, and these swept away entire homes and claimed some 460 lives. Then the World Health Organization, or WHO, has been overwhelmed by increasing health crises in recent years, placing severe strain on its funding and its staff. So a report states the WHO, who had to deal with 53 high-level crises since March this year alone, such as the Marburg virus in Equatorial Guinea and Tanzania, and the humanitarian emergencies as resulting from the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. Now, climate change, which is worsening, is also causing health crises. And the WHO's emergency program budget for 2023, only 53% funded at this point. And a more sustainable income is clearly needed. Now, yesterday was World Turtle Day. Not Ninja Turtles, just turtles in general, and many of our viewers' thoughts undoubtedly turned to Bob the green sea turtle. Now, of course, he was released into the deep blue from the Two Oceans Aquarium in Cape Town just 120 days ago. That was after a lengthy period of rehabilitation, so well done to the team. Well, meanwhile, Bob, who has since been confirmed to be a female, has swum an impressive, get this, 5,900 kilometers. That's when we knew she was a woman, being able to tackle something like that. And since her release, and she is still conserving energy and letting the currents guide her while doing loops in the Atlantic, as one does. Now, everyone concerned is very impressed with her adventures thus far and happy that she's keeping it laid back at this point. And she's truly still showing off her savvy swimming strategy and presently hanging out in water some 5,000 meters deep at a temperature of 19 degrees Celsius. Balmy. And now that the Two Oceans Aquarium has verified that Bob's actually a girl, there are high hopes for her creating new generations of green turtles that'll hopefully also capture the imagination of the globe just as she has. Now, the idea of wee bobbies in the world is truly an exciting one, and we are certainly here for that. Likewise, we are here to catch up on all of those sporting headlines, and Ewan is standing by with the latest.
Thank you so much, Graham, for that story to put a smile on our dials early on a Wednesday morning. Right now, turning our attention to some sporting news. Starting with soccer, Bafana Bafana coach Hugo Bruce has called up 32 players for his preliminary squad to face Morocco in an AFCON qualifier next month. Now, closer to the encounter, Bruce will trim his squad to 23 players. Both South Africa and Morocco have qualified for the continental tournament, which will be held in Ivory Coast on 13 January to 11 February 2024. Now, the squad includes 10 Mamelodi Sundowns players, but none from Kaizer Chiefs. Notable new faces include Ikram Reyners, Given Simango, and Kabomelo Kodisang. Staying with soccer news, Buyaku Saka has signed a new deal to stay at Arsenal until 2027, saying the club is the right place to make the next step. Now, the England forward, who has scored 14 goals for the Gunners this season, contributing 11 assists, very talented young man, just 21 years old. He has already made 178 appearances for the club and has featured in all Arsenal's Premier League games over the past 2 campaigns. Now, Saka's previous deal was due to expire at the end of the 2023-24 season. Then turning our attention to cricket this morning, Chennai Super Kings are through to their 10th Indian Premier League final after beating defending champions Gujarat Titans in Qualifier 1. Now, opener Ruturaj Gaikwad top scored from 60 from 44 balls as Chennai posted 172 for 7 after being put it to bat. Gujarat were all out for 157 with Ravi Jadera and Mahesh Dikshana both taking 2 wickets each. Now, Gujarat go into Qualifier 2 while CSK advance to Sunday's final. The second playoff takes place today between the Lucknow Super Giants and Mumbai Indians. And we end off with some rugby news this morning. South African Franco Smith has been named Coach of the Season for the 2022-23 United Rugby Championship campaign. Now, in his first season in charge of Glasgow Warriors, the 50-year-old led the team to a top 4 URC finish, as well as guiding them to their first European final. Now, Smith helped the Warriors go the URC regular season unbeaten at their home ground, Scotstown Stadium. Glasgow also won the URC Scottish-Italian Shield. More news on your sport a little bit later this morning. For now, let's get our first take on what those temperatures are doing with the beautiful Zoe.
Thank you, Straydon. Well, let's start off with some weather news. President Cyril Ramaphosa has launched phase 2 of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project. He participated in the proceedings with King Letsie III and Lesotho Prime Minister Sam Matekane at the Polihali Dam. Now, the launch commenced with a sod-turning ceremony. The presidency says this heralded a crucial step on the journey to greater water and energy security for South Africans and Lesotho. Now, the project is a binational infrastructure scheme between Lesotho and South Africa. It involves the construction of a network of tunnels and dams to transfer water from the Orange Senqu River in the Lesotho Highlands to South Africa, and to utilize the water delivery system to provide hydroelectric power to the Kingdom of Lesotho. Well, that was your news. Let's take a look at those sunrise views. Bronwyn kicking us off this morning in Koffiefontein, sharing a photo of the clouds with the sun gently peeking through. Then Cheryl in Palabora has snapped a view of the sun blazing up just over the mountain. Avaria in Umhlanga shared this outstanding horizon. Just look at those breathtaking colors. And last up, we have Marika in Kariga capturing streaks of pink blasting through the sky. Thank you for that good morning photo. Well, share your morning views with us on our WhatsApp line. Our number is 063-408-8863. Let's get into today's temperatures, starting off in Polokwane. Your low is 9, your high 25. Mbombela 12 with a high of 28. Pretoria 11 with a high of 23. Johannesburg 10 with a high of 23. It's sunny in Mahikeng, 12's your low, 28 your high. Cloudsthorpe 6 26. Kimberley 11 26. Bloemfontein 4 with a high of 24. Richards Bay 17-25, Pietermaritzburg 11 with a high of 25. If you're in Durban, 16's your low, 24 your high. Mthatha 9-26, East London 18-26. If you're in Cradock, 9's your low, 25 your high. Gqeberha 12 with a high of 25. George 9 reaching a high of 23. Cape Town is much cooler. Your low is 13, your high 17 for today. Worcester 10-23, Sutherland 3-19, and Uppington a low of 12 and a high of 32 degrees Celsius. Well, that's a first look at your weather for today. We'll have another update shortly after 7.
So now you can understand. We went around the country looking for guys with the most beautiful backs of heads that we could find, man. Gorgeous. Look at that. That's how we hire here. Love you, Shorty. Love all this team that gathers to bring you the magic, especially on a Wednesday. Why? Because it's magical. Because it's a culinary hotline. Bling. Zing, zing, zing. You see, I went for a different approach.
You did?
Start low, let's build.
Yes.
Let's build. So by the time our amazing guest arrives, we're full steam. Who was our amazing guest this morning?
Oh, we've got an amazing Chef B coming in this morning and talking about feeling full today. Everyone in studio will be feeling full when they leave.
Yep, we are celebrating our culture today. We are celebrating ahead of Africa Day, and we are inspiring you with what smells like the most amazing dishes. Come along, we'll see you in a mo. It looks
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Here we go. Good morning and welcome once again to your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso, only on S3. And welcome to your culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting! Getting in there this morning. Oh, you know what? In light of Africa Day tomorrow, we thought we would like to do some of our favorite African, or rather African-inspired dishes. And one that is such a big street food in South Africa is a classic vetkoek and mince curry. Amagwenya. Now, if you have, of course, any questions or culinary conundrums, just as much as it is difficult to say as well, you can voice note us on our WhatsApp line 063-408-8863. And one of the most beautiful chefs in the land. He's here. Step closer, my friend. Clem is here. Did you hear? Clem is here.
C-E-L-E-M.
What?
Clem.
No, I'm confused now, Bru. Let's stick to the recipe, Bru. Listen, there's nothing like a good vetkoek and mince on a cold winter's day.
I agree. And also, how amazing mince features in so many of our local dishes in South Africa.
Absolutely.
A baboeti, frikadels, and again in this mince curry. And uma unedikombesa, it's in there. Yeah. It's in so many of the dishes. And I think it's because our moms are so smart. They know, like, with a little bit of mince, you can feed the nation.
You can go a long way. Yeah. And listen, it's so nice to make your own at home. Of course, you can go out and buy a vetkoek, but it's special to make your own. Okay, and this is why Clem is here, Clem, to show us exactly how it's made. Okay, cool. So we got a lot of stuff going on here.
Yes. Let's swap sides. Okay. So let's talk about the mince curry. What's absolutely amazing about it is...
Sorry, that was a very quick... That
was good, eh?
That was good. I saw you worked it in there.
If you make it today, it was going to taste so amazing tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So make a big batch of it. And it's going to start off with onions, okay? And I'm adding it to a little bit of oil. If you have ghee at home, and if you don't have ghee, get some ghee. If you have ghee at home, get that into your pot right now.
Okay.
It's a clarified butter, so you can cook with it. It's not going to burn like normal butter does.
Yes.
So you can actually fry in it.
One of those magic ingredients.
One of those magic ingredients. So what I do at home is when I buy curry leaves and I have any left over, I keep them in the freezer. They just last forever that way.
Okay.
So right now we're going to the freezer, put a few curry leaves in here. It's a great way to cheat and make a good curry taste amazing.
Yeah.
Curry leaves.
Okay, love it. Nice little tip there.
So get this, you want this to cook low and slow.
Low and slow.
I'm talking about 15 minutes before you add the
Oh, really? So you want to make sure it's nice and soft and translucent.
Really soft. You want those sugars to come out. And a way to help the sugars come out is to add a little bit of salt. Brings out the moisture, helps it steam as it fries, and then soften a little quicker than normal.
Okay.
To that. Now imagine South Africa, imagine it's 15 minutes, golden brown.
Ding, 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 ding.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna go in with our mince.
Righto.
And you can use chicken mince. You can use beef mince, lamb mince. You can even use, don't come for me, soy mince.
Okay.
Soy mince is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I love soy mince curry. It's honestly delicious. So get your mince in there and don't make the pieces too small. Keep it a little chunky.
Okay.
And then get that in there. And questions that were asked before the segment started. Should you rinse your mince for this one? You can rinse your mince if you want to. We know it's okay. You can rinse your mince.
Okay. So I've never rinsed mince before.
In the beginning, we had a huge debate about do you or don't you rinse your mince.
So how do you go about rinsing your mince?
So some people, and I'm not going to mention names, Zoe Brown, says that she rinses her mince. And we actually had this huge discussion. We got the whole country involved. We got professional chefs involved.
Are you guys gossiping about me?
Oh, I didn't even know you were here today.
Rinse your mince.
Well, no, you know what? It's just how I grew up. It was normal. You get a packet of mince, you give it a quick rinse under the under the tap, and then you put it in your pot. I sometimes use like a colander, but you don't need to rinse/wash your mince. It's just a little bit of a rinse.
Yeah.
It's how my mom got taught to do her mince. It's how I got. So I just always assumed it was normal until I came here, and it was the biggest joke on the planet.
Well, we now know it is normal because half the country rinses their mince.
Do you rinse your mince?
And I want to know. I feel like that kind of matches the theme of the food today. It's about heritage and how we're taught and how we're brought up and culture.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how my mama does it. That's how I do it.
Exactly.
Sure.
I love it. I love it, Zoe. I love that tip. And then one day I'm going to rinse my mince and I will tag you in it to let you know how it came out. I'm excited to do that.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thanks, Zoe. That was very sneaky, snuck up on us.
All right. Mince has gone in, and I added a little bit of curry spice. It's got some turmeric in there, it's got a bit of ground cardamom in there, it's got a bit of chili in there. I've also got garam masala, and I'm gonna add that closer to the end of cooking.
Okay.
So we use garam masala as a finishing spice, almost in a sense.
Just to give that pop of flavor.
There we go. So you can already notice the oils that I do have in here.
Yeah, nicely absorbing there.
And it's starting to release the color of the turmeric that's in the curry spice, and you want that to happen. Add a little bit of oil, or I could have added butter to that if I wanted, or the ghee.
Okay.
We're gonna fry that up. Peas go in. You wanna add the peas, not in this stage right now.
Okay, so when the mince is more done.
You kind of find that peas go a little gray, a little soft.
Yeah.
When they're cooked for too long.
We still want that color.
You want the color, want the pop.
Yeah.
Garlic and ginger go in there, and that was a very shame amount of garlic and ginger.
You can go a little bit crazy with the garlic.
You can go a lot crazy with your garlic and ginger. Get that in there.
If the whole household eats a lot of garlic at the same time, it's fine.
It's fine.
Fine.
Okay, so peas. Let's not do peas. Let's go potatoes. I haven't boiled these, right? Because I want these to cook
So they are
in there.
as natural as they can get.
As natural as you can get them, minus their skins.
Like the fact you keep it big and chunky.
That's the thing, though. The potato almost becomes a meal, a little element on its own, and when it gets to like day 3 and you got like this much mince, you still got chunky potatoes, and that's substantial.
it.
So keep it chunky.
It's a good way to bulk up your meal as well.
Absolutely. Get them in there raw. What's going to happen is it's going to absorb all the spices in there.
Okay.
That's when you get that potato that's super saturated, full of flavor.
Because we know potatoes do that, eh?
They do.
If you want to remedy a salty dish, potatoes.
Oh, yes.
I know.
Absolutely.
I've learned a thing or two on the show over the years. I really did.
Can I get a little bit of water?
You can. Here we go.
We don't need a lot of water. You just need enough to help steam these potatoes. So once you add your water, that's enough. You can pop the lid on, slightly ajar so some of that moisture can evaporate as the potatoes cook.
Yeah, you
then,
don't want a soup at the end.
You don't. Once those potatoes are super soft,
And now the peas go in.
in with the peas.
Can you use frozen peas?
You can use frozen peas. You can use fresh peas. You can use whatever peas you have on hand. If you have canned peas as well, get them in there. But the most important thing, salt.
Yep.
A little bit of extra garam masala. And the fed cook is really simple. We've done so many recipes on the show on how to make fed cook.
Yeah.
Go and check them out on the website. All you got to do is shape them after you've got your dough, fry them, and you're good. My gwing-gwings with mince curry. I made a fed cook and mince.
Come
Legendary. This leftover tomorrow in a toasted sandwich.
Yes.
Done.
It's going to even
Done.
develop more overnight. Like I said, it's going to be even better. Listen, if you want to get your hands on this particular recipe, it is one of our favorite street food options, expressoshow.com. That is the website. And this is the Culinary Hotline. Bling, ting, ting, ting. Exactly. Clem, thank you very much, my friend. I'm looking forward to some more African-inspired dishes. I know that you've got a lot planned and a special guest.
A lot, yes.
Oh, you see, when Clem goes a lot, then you know something is going to go down in the kitchen today. So stick around for the Culinary Hotline. A little bit later, Clem is going to be back in action.
Only you can make my day.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining what should be a very, very rewarding conversation this morning. We are tackling xenophobia, not only in South Africa, but across Africa. It continues to be a very complex and, yes, sensitive issue that warrants meaningful discussion like this. I'm going to say it straight off the beginning. I am triggered by this. There is something about this conversation that really does trigger me, and I think a lot of people are likewise triggered. Xenophobia refers to the fear, the hatred, the prejudice against foreigners or people from different countries. What fuels that? We will try and put our fingers on that this morning, along with Leletu Nogwavu from Africa Unite, who joins us to discuss where we are right now with xenophobia in South Africa. Leletu, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you know what? Like you said, this is a very sensitive conversation, but let's quickly unpack. As a state, South Africa, where are we when it comes to xenophobia? At one stage, it was every headline in the newspaper. Now it's semi-quieted down and then it flares up, but where are we currently?
I think we still have a long way to go. I think because it's not there out in the media, it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even if they show it, even if they don't, it's still out there. So we still have a very long way to go. We still have to educate ourselves. We still have to unlearn a lot. Yeah, so I'd say, yeah, there's a lot to do, a lot of work.
You face this deluge. When we talk about the role that the news plays in this story, like so many other stories concerning what feels like the baggage that we drag around with us continentally, certainly as a country, it's easy to paint it with one brush, to try to understand it. For me, it's desperation.
Yeah.
There could be other factors that I just don't see. You have a front row seat to this narrative as it unfolds. What drives xenophobia in South Africa? What do you think are those major contributing factors?
I think you've hit the nail in the head, really. It's actually desperation. So because we have a lot of issues in the country, we face unemployment, we face, load shedding and a lot of other things. So it's easier to have someone to blame for that. We're looking for a scapegoat constantly, but we don't know actually that the actual issue is our government and not actually foreign nationals. So we usually then just take all of that desperation and that hatred and that energy and we put it towards migrants. But really, they are not the problem. We need to look into ourselves, look into our government and actually face the actual issue and come up with solutions for that.
Everyone's just surviving.
Exactly.
Everyone is just surviving, or at least trying to.
Yeah.
Definitely, and so are the immigrants and the refugees that end up in South Africa. What impact does xenophobia have on their rights?
You see, the thing is, if especially you look at it on a human rights perspective, is that a lot of their human rights are violated through xenophobia. So we see it manifest in the healthcare system, we see it manifest in the education system. So it's a lot. It really is a lot, and it has this ripple effect where everything is affected in their lives. But another aspect of it that people never look into is the mental health aspect of it, where people actually are affected mentally. Because if you come from a struggling country and you are chased from out there and you run away and you're desperate, you come into another country and again, you still have to face being attacked. You still can't access, education, healthcare systems and stuff. And we've seen incidents of people being chased out of hospitals and things like that. So it really affects a number of aspects in their human rights and in their daily lives, but also the mental health, I think, is very important to highlight because people never look into that. Yeah.
I mean, just go and have a chat to a young Zimbabwean mother sitting with 2 kids outside of Home Affairs anywhere in South Africa.
Yeah.
Just have a little chat and get some perspective on that lived experience. Unfortunately for me, we like to think of our actions as a manifestation of the situation or the system. But it's the other way around. The system exists because we can't change our actions.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you go about, as an organization like Africa Unite, doing this every day?
Yeah.
And we'll get into the motivation as to why it's so important for you, but how do you guys go about this? What do we need to do? What's the roadmap?
I think the biggest thing, and that's what we focus on, is education. But we specifically focus on young people because most of the incidents of xenophobia are perpetrated by young people. So we try then to focus on the young people, but also then to also ensure the future that they can, also hand it down to whoever's coming next. But what we do is then we educate young people. So we have a peer education program, for instance, where we bring together a number of young people from all over Africa. We have an exchange program as well, where we take people from different parts of Africa, even in South Africa. We put them together in what is called a human rights school. So in the human rights school, they learn different concepts and different aspects of, human rights, migration, and the reasons behind that. And then we empower them to go back into their communities, and that is where they're able to educate other people, but also to do whatever it is that they're passionate about in a way that promotes human rights and that promotes, cohesion somehow with migrants and with people from different countries. So it's basically just youth empowerment mostly, and we make sure then we support them throughout. So they go throughout the year doing activities, for instance, information sessions, where they would, host a session with their community. If you, for instance, are based in a church or you are based in a university or wherever. So exactly. Yeah. So even if it's just 15 people, 20 people, you just come together, you talk about pertinent issues, you discuss. Exactly. Yeah. Discuss these difficult conversations.
And you do it every day. And I think that's the key thing here. It's your lived experience of you being this person every day is teaching us more than we could ever say or try to depart. The most important element here is that we do talk. And today is an opportunity to do that. It's just not going anywhere. The continued discussion around xenophobia will pick up again in just a moment.
Thank you very much, Graham and Zoe, and also Leletu. It's a very stirring conversation, but a very important one as well. But for now, let's change gears a little bit to a beautiful dose of care.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever, anytime, anywhere.
Oh, now this is going to be very, very special. We know those daughters are more beautiful than a flower and stronger than a mountain. Now, you can nominate a deserving daughter for a dose of care, and they could stand a chance to win 2,000 Rand. And we have a winner this morning. Please, our Expresso Feel Good family, the rest of South Africa, put your hands together for our winner this morning. Drusilla Kriya, you are our lucky winner. Oh, and this is such a special story. Now, Laurentia Kriya commented saying, my daughter is the most important thing in my life. She deserves a hashtag dose of care because she has epilepsies and she doesn't really have a normal life like other kids. I will always love her and be right by her side when she needs me. Hashtag Panada SA, getting that in there as well. And we have Mom Laurentia on the line with her little princess. Laurentia, good morning and welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
It's such a pleasure. Wonderful to talk to you. And that nomination to your daughter is beautiful. Tell me about that special bond that you share with your daughter. What does she mean to you?
Oh, my daughter, she is more precious to me than all the treasures in the world. She is a precious gift from God, and she is my passion and my life. If I could give my daughter 3 things, it would be the confidence to always know her self-worth, the strength to chase her dreams, and the ability to know how deeply loved she is.
Oh, I can immediately just hear the smile on your face as you started talking about your daughter. Now, Drusilla is there, right?
Yeah.
All right. I want to ask her a question. Drusilla, good morning and welcome to you as well. What do you love? Oh, so lovely to hear your voice. What do you love most about your mom?
I love the fact that she's always there for me and that she always supports me.
Oh, and you can just see that you guys got such a beautiful relationship. I'm seeing the photo at the moment, and you two, you look so beautiful. Drusilla, would you like to say thank you to your mommy and Panada for sharing a dose of care with you? How would you thank her?
Thank you, Mommy and Panada.
Oh, man,
it's so my baby.
Laurentia, thank you very much for nominating your beautiful daughter. Thank you very much for being part of our Feel Good family and waking up with us every morning. And I wish you and your beautiful daughter all of the best and a flourishing relationship forward.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it really is so special. Now, it really takes about a second to let your little girl know how much she is loved. Now, show her some recognition with a dose of care from Panada. And here's how you can do it. Thank you, Laurentia.
A daughter is just a little girl who grows up to be your best friend. Since daughters are such a gift of love, you can show yours how much she means to you by gifting her the chance to win a 2,000 Rand dose of care cash. Each weekday from the 22nd of May to the 2nd of June, Panado SA is giving away 2,000 Rand to a much-loved daughter. If that is a dose of care which you would love your daughter to win, enter by replying to the hashtag Panado SA and hashtag a dose of care competition post on Expresso's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages. Don't forget to include hashtag Panado SA and hashtag a dose of care. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we are continuing our conversation. It is a tough one, but we have Leletu here from Human Rights Project Development Officer, and that is from Africa Unite, and we're discussing the state of xenophobia in the country. Now, we've had some interesting discussions, but I think there's still a lot more that we need to unpack. For example, what have been some of the common stereotypes or even some of the misconceptions when it comes to immigrants and refugees that are in South Africa at the moment?
I think the biggest ones from the top of my head would be that they're criminals and that they're here to take our jobs. And obviously that's largely because of the issue that we have of unemployment, of the economy and the state of South Africa. So the biggest ones definitely crime and unemployment, and obviously, yeah.
We can see this, and we were joking about preaching to the choir, because it always feels like when you get a receptive person talking about this, it's because they're on the same page.
Yeah.
We need to kind of kick through those doors, and that says, let's get practical. Let's focus on the areas maybe where it's most prevalent. So where do we need to focus in these social development structures, in doing the work that you're doing? What are the hotspots that we need to focus on so that people who do operate in those areas can look for solutions?
I think the biggest thing, as I've mentioned earlier, is that we need to educate ourselves, but also we need to educate others, especially young people. So in schools, starting from the young age, from younger grades, and at universities, you'd be very surprised that young people also have the stereotypes that we spoke about. And it's very shocking because, from a young person, you'd expect more of an open mind and, more accepting. But we have to educate ourselves. We have to educate young people we have to educate everyone, especially in areas where people, have a lot of access to media, because that's where the narratives come from. So if we educate people, then the narratives change and people know exactly what, xenophobia is. People know exactly why migrants and refugees are in South Africa. Yeah.
And they can see where the real enemy is in the system.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, education is key. Africa Unite's been starting with the youth programs and how you've approached it. Do you know what have been some of the effective ways in which we can combat xenophobia, but also promote inclusivity and tolerance?
I think one of the biggest things is that we do not understand that we are all the same, especially Africans. And you realize that the xenophobia is towards Africans specifically. So we don't understand that we are all the same. We don't understand that a Zimbabwean is exactly like me as a South African. So educating ourselves in that regard and understanding each other's cultures, understanding each other's ways of doing things, then we are more accepting of others. So when you are aware that this person is exactly like me, you look, for instance, in language. The languages are the same. You look into Shona, you look into Xhosa, there's very similar words. So if people understand all those, they're able to connect in those different ways. So through our cultures, through understanding that although we are diverse, we are actually the same people and we have similar values, similar cultures, and similar customs. So being able to celebrate in our diversity together, I think also creates that sort of openness. That's one of the most effective ways or the most effective things that we've been able to do. So inviting people together, sharing meals, showing each other that, we
Food,
eat...
baby.
Exactly,
Food.
exactly. We eat the same things, very similar things. It's literally in small things like that.
There feels like an opportunity in the space that social media has created.
Yeah.
And with this gap that COVID gave us, there is a generation of young people seeing people who look exactly like them, same age, same sensibilities, same view on the world, that they have never had a connection to, living in another country, and all it took was giving data for people to be able to see themselves represented in a different light. How do we celebrate Africa Day? What's the light here? How do we push ourselves and this conversation into the light? How do we positively feed this narrative?
I think it's just like I said. So we celebrate our diversity together, share meals with each other, dress up, show up, and see how similar we all are and how the same we all are. We're not different at all. So if we come together in spaces like these, we have amakwinya, we have, all
rice,
exactly, then we are able to accept each other and understand each other. So I think that's the starting point, celebrating days like these, not just Africa Day, but, World Refugee Day, for instance, Youth Day, coming together during those times and just sharing those similarities, yeah.
I think for every one of those moments where you wanted to say, just walk a mile in my shoes, before you judge, before you act, before you react, just walk a mile in my shoes. Take a moment to consider someone else's perspective, their life path, what is happening to them right now. It's a lived experience that we all share in, and this Africa Day gives us a beautiful opportunity. You're living it every second of every day, so thank you for being who you are and just being so amazing. We love you, Lilette.
Thank you so much. I love you guys too.
Oh,
Thanks.
Well, it's great having you here. And of course, if you want to be part of this conversation, you're welcome to take it online. We are on Facebook or our WhatsApp line, which is 063-408-8863.
Thank you so much, guys. What a wonderful conversation. Definitely a lot that we can take out of that. For now, though, we are getting very excited here for Africa Day, and it is time to head to the socials to be inspired by African content creators. All right, get in here, crew, get in here. Come, have a seat. Let's have some fun. Okay, so Afro Talk. Yeah, I love it. It continues to be on the rise on TikTok, with African content creators being the leaders at the forefront of trends and content creation. And ahead of Africa Day tomorrow, we show you our favorite content creators to watch. And there's so much, guys. I said it earlier, we are blessed with so much creative talent, not only in South Africa, but the rest of the African continent as well.
It's kind of the tie that binds us.
Everything, my friend. So we're going to run through some of our favorites this morning. First, South African comedian Mandy Stark pokes fun at all things we face as citizens of this beautiful country of ours. Check this out quickly.
It's a zebra, a yagi, it's an eagle, a rice on a rice, a rhino on a rice. What the heck? It's a rice on a rice. It's a rhinoceros.
I mean, come on. You know?
Oh, you okay there?
Is that the new wildlife anthem, bro?
That's on a rock.
But this is it. We've heard it so many times. There's so much that we can play off in this country alone. I mean, we've heard it so many times. South Africa's a movie.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a comedy.
And it's a comedy.
Dark comedy.
And I mean,
it's a dark
taking
comedy.
advantage of that. And it's nice to see that on social media. Then we have Mariam Apokaji, also known as Tauma. She's a Nigerian content creator, influencer, and also a business owner who keeps her 5 million followers entertained, just like this.
5 more.
Mom's complaining about that.
My data has finished again. Kilo day is either one of you. You are using my hotspot. If you are not using the hotspot inside this, how will you now explain 2 gigabytes? Báwo ló ṣe tán lójijì? 2 gig.
Nítorí ìgbésí ayé rẹ̀ dúró nípa ọ̀pọ̀ ohun tó ní. 16. Ó sì pa òwe kan fún wọn wípé ilẹ̀ ọkùnrin kan lọ́rọ̀ ṣe so èso púpọ̀. Ó sì rò ó nínú ara rẹ̀ pé.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. My favorite is also like, cool, there's Wi-Fi at home, but you still watch it on your phone without like making sure the Wi-Fi is on.
And before you know it, you get that little data warning. It's like, oh, what happens to all of us? Then we focus our attention on the next one. We couldn't have done this list without featuring the content queen, all the way from Kenya, Elsa Majimbo. With over 1.5 million followers, she's a comedian, writer, chess champion as well.
I'm not going to apply for a job. I don't
She's
want
very funny.
a job. You're doing labor on purpose. You see this nice, soft, silky Vaseline skin? You don't look like this through hard work and stress. I only have one job, being sexy. If I don't go for the job, I'm giving someone else a chance to be employed. Wow. How amazing am I? I mean, I'm this young African girl changing lives. Give me my Nobel Peace Prize.
Give me my number.
For me, it's the giggling.
For
It's
sure.
that little laugh.
Oh, but how much
Arrogance
energy.
of the eating.
Yeah,
That's for me. It's
for
that,
sure.
that
It's just-
absolute arrogance.
It's raw and it's real. That's what it is all about.
Beautiful.
Our next creators are all the way from Uganda. Listen, get ready for some high energy. With 5.5 million followers, they bring us so much feel good with their energetic dance moves.
Oh, I love them.
Look at it.
Oh man, I love it.
If you need a cheer up, follow them. I mean, yes, they're on TikTok, but they also post their videos on Instagram. If you don't have TikTok, it is beyond.
But see, this is where I feel like, yes, you know, with the invention, I think, of social media. I mean, look at what the doors that have opened in places like where they are. 5.5 million followers, guys.
Because it represents a need.
Right?
Absolutely. I love that.
And you can just see the joy on their faces as they dance.
It's the effortlessly cool element that I know you'll never be able to be that cool.
We'll never be that cool.
And how cool to see them in their element, doing what they love, you know, the place that they love. I think it's
little ones, we love you.
We have one more for you. Our last creator this morning is the perfect example of expectation versus reality. South African TikTok creator Daneo Zonke. Let's see what happened when she had a tranquil visit to Zanzibar's infamous turtle sanctuary.
Go in, Dino.
Sorry.
Look, it gets real. It gets real. Yeah, it's one turtle's fine, but when you've got like 9 of them and there's nowhere to
Yeah,
go.
one you might be able to handle.
But it's just, you know, Instagram portrays or social media portrays
I'd love to see
this
that
idyllic
post.
version.
Yeah.
It's like when a friend of mine from Germany came to visit and I took her to the Penguin Beach, Simonton Builders Beach, and she was just like, It stank. And she had to pay so many euros to get in, and there weren't any penguins.
It's like one baby penguin shedding. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's always lovely to see the reality versus what you see.
I'd love to see how that actual post came out. The photo version of that must have looked spectacular.
Probably beautiful, tranquil, you know, with the turtle with his fin in the air. I don't even know, but I mean, it's so much fun. Like we said, there's so much talent in this country, in this continent. We absolutely love it. So if you know anyone on social media, on TikTok, on the African continent, in South Africa that you are following that we should also be aware of, let us know on our social media pages. You can also continue that conversation on our WhatsApp line 0634088863.
Brace yourselves, Expresso. On Friday, the 26th of May, we are welcoming the extraordinary cast of The Masked Singer South Africa to our stage.
Oh yes, now Sitelo Shozi, Skumba, Somizi, and host Mpo Pops will grace our studio.
Don't miss this front row seat on what to expect on The Masked Singer SA, coming to you right here on S3.
Yeah, mark your calendars and tune in Friday, the 26th of May, and let the adventure begin right here on your Expresso Morning Show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show indeed. Welcome back, and hailing from the beautiful city of Durban is Freddie L, a musician with a unique, raspy, soulful voice, and he is joining us on Expresso this morning as he debuts his fourth single, and this one's titled Njani. Now, can we give him a warm welcome to Expresso?
Thank
Freddie,
you.
great
Thank
to
you
have
so much for having me. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That raspy voice, is it something you've always had, or did you have to like strain the vocals a little?
I didn't really have like a normal voice as a kid, so yeah, I've always been like this.
You know what? It is so unique. It is so
Thank you so
beautiful.
much.
And your love for music is clearly there.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about this latest single, Njani.
Yeah, Njani, I wrote the song in Xhosa. So my mom is Zulu, my dad is Xhosa. So he moved to KZN, obviously before I was born. Yeah, so they didn't really have a good one. So I had to learn Xhosa like later on. And so I chose to write this one in Xhosa because it's very special to me.
That is amazing. And how did that influence or shape your music career?
So I was in The Voice about, I think it was season 2. Yeah, so I met quite a few Xhosa people there as well. Amifagu, Zikona, all of those guys. So I try to absorb as well a little bit from them, because the Xhosa culture that's had in Durban isn't as strong, obviously, as here.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's, I dabbled a little bit, listened to a lot of Xhosa songs now, jazz. I grew up on jazz as well, so yeah.
Do you come from a musical family?
No, my dad is more of a listener than a musician. Yeah, so I grew up listening to like jazz and yeah, Oliver Mtukudzi, all of this stuff. Jimmy Lulu, yeah.
And you love performing at festivals.
Yes,
because I believe that's how you were invited to come to Expresso as well. Talk to me about when you perform in front of a crowd. What is that one thing that you always, when you leave the stage and you're like, that was a good performance, or
I think it's the anxiety before. You get so scared and you work yourself up. And then when that goes away, like it feels like really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like working under pressure.
I think a lot of people like working under pressure. How do you calm your nerves? How do you calm your nerves before you do a performance?
Oh, I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous, yeah.
Well,
I think it carries into the performance.
It definitely does. And when you're nervous, you still care about what you do. Well, Freddie L, it's great to have you here.
Thank
it's
you
great
so
to have
much.
you on Expresso. And you are about to perform. In fact, you're about to enjoy his brand new single, Njani, for the very first time right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Here is Freddie L.
Thank you. Hey, 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 hey.
It is Freddie L on your Feel Good Breakfast show. That was incredible. How did you feel after that performance? Because I know you say before the performance the nerves are there, but now that it's
I
done.
feel really good about this song. Also because I worked on it with a good friend of mine, Where's My Mads, and yeah, So even how we met with Wes, it was all natural, and yeah.
And that's how it is. We are so excited to have you here today. We are looking forward to more performances coming your way, so stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
A minute before 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, Zoe. That was an incredible performance. Stick around for another 2 performances heading your way throughout the course of the morning. Right now, let's quickly focus once again on your news headlines. Starting off with your national news, the National Department of Health is urging doctors across the country to begin cholera treatment immediately if it appears that a patient may be infected and not wait for test results. The department hosted a webinar updating the nation on the cholera outbreak. More than 100 cases of cholera have been confirmed at Hammanskraal in Gauteng, and 15 people have succumbed. Poor border management across the continent continues to increase South Africa's risk of import cholera cases from other African countries. Currently, Malawi remains the epicenter of the outbreak in Africa. And the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Sihle Zikalala, says his department is reviewing the government's housing policy for members of parliament and cabinet. Zikalala says there's a clear need to provide housing for officials, but the current model is not affordable. The department is investigating reports of controversial spending on renovations and maintenance of ministerial residences. Zikalala reiterated that action would be taken against those who flouted procurement procedure. Then shifting focus to our international news headlines this morning, Spanish police have arrested 4 football enthusiasts and supporters of the Football Club Valencia in connection with an incident of racism during a club match this past weekend. The Brazilian footballer Vinicius Jr. was playing for his club Real Madrid against Valencia when he was subjected to racist chants. The incident has put racism in football under renewed scrutiny. Brazil's President Lula da Silva has made an urgent appeal to sports authorities to act decisively against racism and also requested a meeting with Spanish ministers, prosecutors, and the country's football federation. And the Congolese Red Cross has suspended its search for hundreds of victims of recent lethal floods in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, as it lacks the machinery needed to dig through meters of mud and debris. The Red Cross teams have been searching for bodies since early May, when the villages of Bushushu and Nyamukubi, both in the DRC's South Kivu province, were devastated by flash floods. Now, these swept away entire homes and claimed some 460 lives. And then we end off with this story. It's definitely going to put a smile on your face. A scene from a good old Wild West movie played out on a busy highway in Detroit in the US when a cow made a dash for freedom only to be stopped by a skilled cowboy. Now, this was the real McCoy. Now, the Michigan State Police captured the incident on a trooper's dash cam, and the video has since gone viral. Now, law enforcement was requested for traffic control when a cow eloped from a farm and headed for the highway. A team of mountain wranglers and guys on four-wheelers gave chase, but to no avail. And then, fortunately, real-life cowboy Ricky Littlejohn was summoned. Yes, a true superhero. In a daring horseback pursuit on the highway, Littlejohn, in full cowboy regalia, tailed the runaway car and spectacularly lassoed and captured her. Littlejohn wrangles loose cattle for a living and said he was delighted to assist. Now, Michigan police afterwards tweeted, "The animal is now safe and hasn't been charged with the crime." But it is good to know that there are real-life cowboys out there somewhere in the world saving lives. Well, there we have it. That's your news headlines for the 7 o'clock bulletin. We'll have one more update for you at 8 o'clock.
No one mentioned the pup helping out as well, so well done, doggo. Absolutely awesome story. Let's kick off our sporting news as well. On a high note, Bafana coach Hugo Broos has called up 32 players for his preliminary squad to face Morocco in an AFCON qualifier next month. So closer to that encounter, Broos will name his squad and trim it down to 23 players. Both South Africa and Morocco have qualified for the continental tournament, which will be held on the Ivory Coast on the 13th of January up until the 11th of Feb next year. The squad includes 10 Mamelodi Sundowns players, as you'd expect. None from Kaizer Chiefs, though. Some notable new faces include Ikram Reyners, Given Nsimango, and Kobamelo Korisang. So congratulations to the new caps. Then on to football. Bukayo Saka has signed a new deal to stay at Arsenal up until 2027, saying the club, quote, is the right place to make the next step. Now, the England forward has scored 14 goals for the Gunners this season. He's had a good one, continuing with 11 assists as well. Just just 21 years old, he's already made 178 appearances for his club and has featured in all Arsenal's Premier League games over the past 2 campaigns. Saka's previous deal was due to expire at the end of the 23-24 season, so great to see him stick to the club's overarching goal of progression. Then we turn to cricket now, and the Chennai Super Kings are through to their 10th Indian Premier League final. That was after beating the defending champions, the Gujarat Titans, in qualifier 1. So opener Ruturaj Gaikwad top scored with 60 from 44 balls as Chennai posted 172 for 7 after being put into bat. Then Gujarat were all out for 157 with Ravi Jadeja and Mahesh Takshana both taking 2 wickets apiece. And Gujarat go into qualifier 2 while CSK, they advance to Sunday's final. And that second playoff takes place later today, and that's between the Lucknow Super Giants and the Mumbai Indians. Then on to rugby news. It's that time of the season for the accolades to go out, and South African Franco Smith has been named Coach of the Season for the 2022-23 United Rugby Championship campaign. And this is why. So in his first season in charge of Glasgow Warriors, the 50-year-old led the team to a top 4 URC finish, as well as guiding them to their first European final. Smith helped the Warriors go to the URC regular season unbeaten at their home ground as well, the Scottstown Stadium, which has become a fortress for them. Glasgow have also won the URC Scottish/Italian Shield in the process. So Franco, congratulations and well done. And that's where we leave our sport for now. The roads should be starting to wake up. Zozo's going to get you to work safely.
Thank you, Graham. It is wide awake. Let's start off with traffic in Gauteng, Brakpan. There's been a multi-vehicle accident on the R21 southbound. It's before the ramp to Babsfontein. Now, the right lane is closed and there's slow-moving traffic, so please allow for extra travel time this morning. Then in Brackenfell, Cape Town, let's start off with your morning peak traffic. It has started heading into the city centre. Please plan your route accordingly and don't forget your coffee refill. Then moving to KZN in Mpangeni on the N2 route, there's been a truck queuing on both sides of the roads. Please try use an alternative route until the roads are clear. Well, that's your traffic update. Let's take another look at your weather. And we start with international news. Guam and the Mariana Islands are bracing for impacts from strengthening super typhoon Mawa, which is spinning in the West Pacific. AccuWeather meteorologists say the cyclone could be the strongest in decades to impact the islands, bringing life-threatening flooding and potential for damaging winds this week. The typhoon was forecast to impact Guam and the Mariana Islands early today as a Category 4 storm and even reach a Category 5 storm, according to AccuWeather meteorologists. Rainfall will increase in intensity with strengthening winds as Mawa continues to barrel towards Guam with the worst conditionings expected later today. Heavy rain will continue to impact Guam and the Mariana Islands with amounts of 200 to 380 millimeters. Rainfall of this magnitude can result in flash flooding and mudslides, blocking roads and delaying travel. Wind gusts of 290 kilometers an hour across portions of Guam and the northern Marina Islands can be expected, with rough turf and coastal flooding across the archipelago. Well, that was your international news. We bring it back to your sunrise views. In Durbanville, Maureen kicks us off with this beautiful photo. She was standing outside, looked at the sky and just felt incredibly blessed and had to share her view with us. Thank you for that. Then we move over to Mark and George, who shared a yellow-inspired view while he enjoys his daily workout. Ewan Strydom, yes, our very own Strydom, shared this phenomenal view from Durbanville before arriving at the studio. And Delish in East London also showing off his views. The colours in the sky are just memorable. See, we love seeing all sunrise views, including those of our own. Well, if you have one to share with us, we would love to see it. Please WhatsApp us. Our number is 063 408 8863. Let's get into your temperatures for today. Starting off in Polokwane, a low of 9 and a high of 25 can be expected. Mbombela, 12.28. Pretoria, 11.23. Johannesburg, 10, reaching a high of 23. Mahikeng, 12.28. Klerksdorp, 6.26. If you're in Kimberley, 11's your low, 26 your high. Bloemfontein 4:24, Richards Bay 17:25, Pietermaritzburg 11:25. If you're in Durban, 12's your low, 24 your high. Mthatha 9:26, East London 18:26. If you're in Cradock, 9's your low, 25 your high. Partly cloudy conditions in Gqeberha, 12 with a high of 25. George 9:23, Cape Town 13 with a high of 17 for today. Worcester 10:23, Sutherland 3 with a high of 19. And if you're in Uppington, your low is 13 and a beautiful day, 32 degrees Celsius can be expected. Well, that's your traffic and your weather. We'll have a final update at about 8 o'clock.
Nice, man. I like that photo. Now, do you feel special?
I do feel special. Now I know how you guys feel out there when we use your pictures. Very cool. But I mean, take a look at this photo. I mean, I was on my way early morning to do a shoot, and here's one of those sunrises where you just have to stop and take a picture because, oh man, the sunrises that we get in this beautiful country of ours is off the charts. And there's so many beautiful opportunities. And please, just take a second, a moment to capture that sunrise and send it to us on our WhatsApp line 0634088863. There's lots of 8s in there.
There are lots of 8s.
Yeah.
Lucky number this morning. You know, I'm thinking we're going to do a coffee table book. At the end of our session, we're going to do a coffee table book of all the Expresso sunrises and pick the best because that's how good you guys are. Likewise, we're going to invite the best in the business into the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting.
Chef B is here to entertain and enthrall in just a moment. We'll see you now.
Here's to the coffee magicians. The ones who know what you get out starts with what you put in.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good morning, South Africa, and welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting. In the kitchen this morning, I am blessed to be with Chef B herself, Bolewa Morara. How are you?
Hi, Clem. I'm very well, and you?
I'm so good. I've got this like food association with you. When I see you, even when you're not cooking, my body just goes, and I get like so comfy and I feel so good and warm inside because the food that you cook is emotional. Like it hits the soul. It's for the soul. It's food therapy. I mean, the deliciousness never ends with you. So I'm very surprised and excited to hear this morning that we're making something that I've never had. Creamy samp and mash.
No, it's mashed creamy samp.
Mashed creamy samp. It sounds so good. It sounds so good. Like, honestly, I feel like you can have that on its own, it'd be amazing. But then if you add anything spicy to it, anything rich and with the gravy, it's gonna take it to like cloud 9. Where do we begin with this dish?
What I did, I soaked my samp overnight, and you just need to soak it for about 2 to 4 hours. And once your starches has released in the morning, what you do is rinse it up and...
One rinse?
Make sure, no.
How many times do you rinse your samp when you soak it?
You have to rinse it up until you see that the water is translucent.
So it's a labor of love, but the results are pretty amazing.
Indeed.
So we've soaked it, we've rinsed it quite a bit now overnight. It's been chilling in the water, so it's hydrated. Do we cook it now?
Yes.
Okay, so talk to me about cooking samp. Do we salt our water? Don't we salt our water? Can we go straight samp into boiling water? What are the rules of cooking samp?
Okay, what I do, I bring my water to boil, make sure that it's extremely hot. I don't add seasoning or salt. We only season after. So my water has been boiling here. So what I do...
Let me get you back on. Yeah, you go for it. Wrong one. There we go. Go for it. So
I'll add my cooked samp to my boiling water.
And truth time, how long does it cook for?
For about 40 to an hour.
Okay, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I know some people be cooking their samp for like 2 hours.
It's because we use the trick to soak it overnight, so that's why.
That's the difference. Soaking cuts down your cooking time. I love it. So it puffs up, it looks delicious like this. I mean, the difference I wish I could actually get one of the dry ones, but the difference is pretty amazing and astounding, how much it actually puffs up and how much texture it gets after it's soaked and cooked. That looks perfect and amazing on its own, but we're not done there. What happens next?
So I've cooked the samp. It's super soft. It has to be really extremely super soft. And then what I'll do, I'll boil my potatoes.
Got you. Do you need heat on this one?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you're boiling potatoes, and this one we're going into cold water, salted water, or no?
Salted water.
Salted water, okay. So, and also the rule is, if something grows underground, a vegetable, you're always going to start cooking it from cold water. If you're cooking something that grows above the ground, hot water. So potatoes, beetroot, sweet potato,
Cold water.
Always cold water, and then everything else hot. So I love that idea. I like the people know that and know the difference. So, cool. Potatoes going, samp going. This is our done potatoes.
This is what you'll get once your potatoes are cooked. They must be super soft. So what you'll do...
Chef B coming through with all that strength.
Mashed it up. Make sure that you mash it up. I love using russet potatoes for this recipe because it comes out really smooth and soft. The richness and the creaminess coming out of the potatoes, it is explosive when it's coming.
I don't often see that we mix starches, and I kind of think it's a good idea. So mixing samp and potato, I think, is pretty cool because you're getting that texture, you're getting the creaminess.
Yes.
And is this a recipe you came up with on your own, or is this something that's been around that you just Chef B sprinkled on it?
My mom used to love cooking this, but what she did when she cooked a samp, and she'll add the potatoes to the samp, and they won't go like super smooth. She just wants you to get the texture. What I did by myself is mash the potatoes on the side and just do mashed creamy samp.
I like that. That's kind of your vibe, right?
Because it's always boring when you go to restaurants. You always have a mash as a starch. So I just mix it up together. I mix my mash and my creamy samp, and voila.
The food that you cook is very nostalgic, but you can tell that there's been an influence, and that's you. So I love the flavors. It's very familiar, but there's always that exciting element where you stepped in as a chef and just taken something that we're so used to, and are taking it to like 2023.
Yeah.
But it's still like local. It's still amazing. It's still delicious. That's your food. So tell the people if they actually do want to try your food. Can I tell them where you go?
Yeah.
You tell them where. Where can people come and experience your food?
At the Spade Boutique Hotel and at Kwaese Kitchen.
And if you want to see more of that, we got a little interview we filmed with you, which is going to be coming out later this week. So we're going behind the scenes with Chef B. It was an amazing day. I think I nearly fell asleep thrice because the food put me in a food coma. It was so amazing. So look out for that. That's going to be coming out this week. Okay, mashed, samped. How does it all come together?
So you leave a bit of water at the bottom. And what you do is take your mashed potatoes and add them to your samp.
Is this something we can make ahead of time, or do you kind of want to keep it fresh?
Keep it fresh.
Keep it fresh. Okay, so do the mixing as close to serving as possible.
Yes.
Got you. I'm so curious when the cream comes in and when the butter comes in. There's also one thing I noticed about you. You love butter. But you spent some time in Europe, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in France, La Rochelle.
In France. I mean, that's the influence of all that butter that you use, but butter's love.
I love salted butter.
Hey.
I add salted butter to my vegetables. I add it everywhere. I love salted butter.
So what we're going to do is we're going to finish this dish off when we come back a little later. Chef B, can you tell us what we're making in the last installment?
We're making lamb chinchado.
Lamb chinchado. I love it. So
lamb chinchado. Lamb chinchado pochi.
Oh, poiki. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so South Africa, don't miss out. We'll be right back with some more Culinary Hotline Bling. Ding, ding, ding.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, let's get the blood flowing just a little bit. Time for some fitness. Yes, now looking after your health and wellness should be a top priority. We know it's all about health, and it can be achieved by eating well, exercising, and also being kind to yourself, especially during the winter season. Now today, Virgin Active personal trainer Robin is showing us a couple of moves to ensure our physical health is in good condition to fight the winter sniffles. Robin, lovely to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad we are talking about this. In what way? Let's start off there. Can exercise benefit you with regards to staying healthy?
So it's a good way of lowering stress, right? Stress is actually like the thing that's making you sick. Not only does your body become more effective at getting rid of all the pathogens and things that it's, is trying to attack it, you also feel better. So mentally you're in a better place with exercise. It's a little bit more difficult in winter. It's cold, you want to stay in bed. For those who walk, outside is not as available, so.
Well, on that note, I got to ask you as well, we are in the colder winter months right now, and I think a lot of people are struggling with keeping that routine. And I'm sure you see a lot of that as well as a personal trainer. So what advice would you have for people just to continuously and consistently try and follow some sort of routine throughout winter?
I would say keep it interesting. So you're not having to change your whole routine or your system, but you'll notice it's difficult to get out of bed. Keeping yourself motivated becomes much more difficult in winter. So if you just go back to your basics, like my dad and I are doing that now, go back to the things that you love. So have a little bit of a routine, walking, exercise, just something that you enjoy doing.
And do it with somebody that kind of will keep you accountable.
100%.
All right. Well,
and
of
have
course,
a goal. That will keep you, those 3 months of winter, it will help a lot.
And we're also here talking about those winter sniffles, and there's a lot, but we have a remedy. We've got some Corenza Paris that we can do. I'm going to prep these a little bit for us. And then, Robin, take it away. What are we doing?
Okay, so when it comes to your immune-boosting exercises in winter, your low to moderate cardio, which is like walking on the treadmill 20 to 30 minutes, that's awesome.
Okay.
Then there's strength training.
Yes.
So that's more or less my favorite one.
Okay.
So you're going to start with your dumbbells. So what you're going to do is squat.
Okay.
Just drop
We're doing
slightly.
a suitcase squat.
And you come up, arm curling.
Ah.
There you go. So this
Multiple
one,
joint action.
yeah, get your compound exercise. So you'll do about 8.
Okay.
There you go. That's the first
I
one.
love these because immediately you are going to feel that cardiovascular aspect kicking in as well.
Yes. I always say to my clients, if you're starting out and these kind of movements are difficult, you can drop your dumbbell, break it down.
Okay.
Arm curly, squat. With a squat, you always want to have your legs slightly open, not crunching.
Exactly.
Next one. I like doing this one. You can actually just
That first
put
one was
down.
very nice. Try it out. Okay.
Yeah. So you can put one dumbbell down.
Okay.
This one works nicely. You can give me a hand. If you have a cable or a resistance band.
Okay.
So you're going to pull me
Okay.
and soften.
Squat.
And now you're going to just raise it.
Oh, okay. Just there.
Just there.
Nice.
So-
Partner exercises. Told you.
If you don't have a partner, you can, again, use a cable,
Yeah.
something to hold on to.
That's
Why you
it.
do this is lots of people, when they do shoulder exercises, they just do it from their shoulder.
Yeah.
As soon as you have that lock on the other side, your lats are activated, much easier.
Exactly, because you're using that or causing that off balance.
Yep.
Okay.
Next one, reverse lunges. Now, before you get to your dumbbells, you're gonna stand. Yeah.
Okay, let me make some space.
With the reverse lunges, lots of people go straight down and back. So you say reverse lunges, people think, oh, my knees.
Yes, exactly.
This one, you, almost like you're skiing, slide that leg slightly back,
Okay.
holding all your weight in your quad in front.
Got it.
Soft. Come up, down.
Then change it.
If you're new at it, keep it on one side. Alternating, more difficult to balance, raises
That's
your
it.
heart rate a little bit more.
And what I know from the lunges as well, why a lot of people also battle with it, that balance aspect is before you go into that lunge position, just strengthen that and contract that core.
So you'll notice, if you're going back that way, the hip that's in front,
Yeah.
hold that one, hold your navel, and your shoulder on the other side.
There we go.
Now you have 3 points.
Yeah.
Much more stable. Now
Right.
you can pick up your dumbbells.
Nice. You're getting a bit of
Ready
a
to do?
master class here in lunges as well. I like it.
Fourth per side. So you start on top, throw the weight down, and up. There you go.
Once again, just bringing that kind of multiple joints into play.
And 2 more.
Nice. And I mean, this is also something, if you are going to go for your conventional strength training, to include some of these kind of multi-joint exercises throughout your workout as well. Awesome. Robin, thank you very much. Those are some awesome and lovely tips as well. And of course, we are often looking for relief from pain and nasal congestion associated with colds and flu, especially during the winter season. And pairing a workout session with the best medication will also get us into tip-top shape. So here we go. I think we need to cheers on a lekker workout. Robin, you can see that. I'm already a little bit out of breath, eh? Fantastic. Thank you for the work that you guys are doing as well, and you specifically for inspiring us all to be the best versions of ourselves. Now, they say a cold flu or colder flu can't conquer you when you are moving, so avoid it this winter. Get your workout in, and also make sure to keep a very close eye on living a healthy lifestyle. Cheers.
Stand your best chance of beating colds and flu this winter and being one of 2 winners of 5,000 rands each with Corenza Paris. To find out how the triple effect of Corenza Paris makes it an essential on your shopping list this autumn and how you can win 5,000 rands in cash, catch Expresso from the 15th to the 18th of May and again the 22nd to the 25th of May and manage cold and flu symptoms this winter. Simply reply to the competition posts on the Expresso social media pages using hashtag Corenza Parisi and hashtag Beat Winter Flu. T's and C's apply.
Well, Graham, I know your anniversary is coming up. When was the last time you took a holiday or some time for yourself and Linz?
Oh, it's been a while. It's been too long. I haven't actually tried anything new for a while now, and I think maybe there is an opportunity to do that right now and be inspired by our very own Culinary.
And we are so blessed in South Africa to have an abundance of beautiful spaces all around us. And like Graham mentioned, Culinary, she packed her bags, took a 3-hour drive out of Johannesburg and ended up in Mpumalanga, where her adventurous spirit encouraged her to try something we never thought she would. Let's take a look.
How lucky am I to wake up in this slice of heaven? I'm staying at the incredible Verloren Kloof, just outside Dalstroom in Mpumalanga. I've decided to explore this incredible country of ours and try out new adventures. Today, I've got something super exciting planned, but first, coffee. I may be out of the big city, but thanks to Jacobs, I still get to enjoy my daily cappuccino. Doesn't a good cup of coffee just make everything better? I may be enjoying this moment, but unfortunately I can't get too comfortable because in an hour I am going fly fishing. I don't know how to feel about this, but I can't lie, I'm looking forward to it. Hi, Joseph.
Hello.
I heard that Dalstroom is the capital of fly fishing in South Africa. And when I heard that there are 6 dams on the property, I figured I have to try it. How long have you been doing fly fishing?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years?
Yes.
Now, what's the difference between fly fishing and regular fishing?
Fly fishing, we use only rods and the flies. And the catch and release, strictly catch and release on fly fishing.
But Joseph, I am ready to learn. Please teach me how to fly fish.
You have to lift your hands up, and the rod should be just like my hand here. And you cast it far from your body so that the line can have power to go forward.
All right.
Don't touch the water. Make sure you don't touch the water.
Oh. And then again, then let it go.
Yes. Then your retrieval, a short retrieval.
Okay.
And a long retrieval. There you go. Good.
Okay. Oh, down.
Remember, on the fly fishing, if you make noise, you chase them out.
Oh, if you make noise.
Yes.
Fishing requires a lot of patience, but thank goodness I was wise enough to pack a cappuccino sachet and bring along a flask of hot water. And just like that, we've got the perfect cappuccino with the best view in the world. Now we're talking, and we wait for fish to catch.
Yes, but we have to be patient.
Patience is a virtue. The fishing experience for me was one for the books. It's my first time. I've never done it before. This was nowhere near what I expected. Fishing requires a lot of technique and patience. People make it look easy, but in fact, when you have to do it, man, it takes practice. This, it's so scary. I'm actually,
No,
it's not going to jump out.
bite.
Okay. Can I see that?
You can touch it.
Oh, oh, it's so slimy. I am so excited. We caught something, my first try at fly fishing. Well, Joseph, thank you so much for your expertise and teaching me how to fish.
Yes, you're welcome.
It's now time to release him back into the dam. Bye, buddy. Oh, here he is. He wants to come back. Now it's time to unwind, take a walk, and explore this beautiful place some more. Being so far away from the city and visiting Verloren Kloof Estate for the first time feels so good. You are forced to detach from everything. There's no network here or anything like that. This is the perfect place to be with a partner, even your family and your friends. Seeing horses brings so much joy into my heart. I had to have a selfie moment. Also, I believe I'm a horse whisperer. Do you guys see how they are all just rushing towards me? Whew! The water is a little bit too cold for a swim, unfortunately, but this place is beautiful. I can hear nothing but the sounds of the birds chirping, the streams flowing, and the gentle air brushing against the trees. This is exactly what I needed. But before the sun dips, I think it's time to go back home, warm up to a hot fire and hot coffee. Well, I left the big city to find new adventure, rest, and relaxation. I'm so happy to say that's exactly what I got. And I cannot think of a better way to wrap up a beautiful day than taking in this wholesome atmosphere with the fire burning while I gaze at the stars, enjoying my cappuccino. Not just any cappuccino, okay? I decided to spoil myself with one of my favorites, the hazelnut cappuccino, because why not? This is the life.
First of all, Kukla, just please go and enter Miss SA. Just do it, please, for all of us. Well, if that isn't going to inspire you to book a mini weekend away, a getaway, then I doubt anything will. The sound of birds, the fresh air, the pure tranquility, and yes, a mug, or in Kutle's case, or 5 or 6. I love the fact that she included some Jacobs every step of that journey. But there is a reason. Jacobs coffee we absolutely love.
And of course, so start planning that next weekend away. You've got your anniversary coming up, hint, hint, doing that for Linz. And of course, this is certainly your sign if you were looking for one on taking a break.
It is. I'm going to take it.
Making a cappuccino with thick creamy froth is now impressively easy.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, good morning. If you've just woken up, where have you been? It's been an amazing show, but you're just in time. There's still lots to savor. So we often make our money chats quite complicated, so I'm gonna simplify this. If you have money, you need a bank account, okay? We know this, you should know this. But when it comes to choosing a bank account, the right partner to guide you through this journey, what are you actually looking for? Time to find out in another round of Would You Rather? Dun, dun, dun. So let's set the scenario, guys, and I'm going to ask you to be nice and honest, and of course we'll get your guys' comments and weigh in as well. But you're looking to change your bank account because you want more value for your hard-earned cash. So would you rather, A, choose a bank account with low fees, or B, choose the bank account with really epic rewards?
Oh, I did this.
How epic are we talking here?
Okay.
Oh, like,
I did this not too long ago. I actually changed banks because I wanted free access to the lounge when you travel.
I see.
But I travel a lot. So for me, that is a reward that I got a lot of benefits out of.
Okay. And have you done the math to weigh up how much those costs were in terms of the previous bank account based on the... Did you do a value exchange, or is this just your pressure point?
For me, it's just you can go... So for example, like going into the lounge without a banking partner, it is quite a hefty fee. And if you sometimes just at the airport for 20 minutes, you can go into the lounge, have your coffee and leave for free instead of going to your regular place, paying for your coffee. Or if you have 3 hours to kill, you have food that you will most probably eat more than what the lounge fee is.
For sure.
And what's more than my banking fee.
Yeah, you see, Zoe makes sure that she gets value out every time she goes into that lounge. So I like that. You have...
Look, I like the lounge idea. It's cool, and a lounge is nice. I must
If you travel a lot, it's nice.
Absolutely, but I think for me, I think every decision I make, and I think Graham, you'll be the same, stems from money management because of your family. And trying to cut down as much as you possibly can. So for me, it will really gravitate towards looking at the banking fees. How expensive is it to run your accounts with regards to all the credit card? Because obviously you've got account fees, you've got credit card with it, there's a monthly fee on that as well. So it really goes on, you know, for me, where I'm going to get the better deal. And if there's rewards connected to it, well, all good and well. I'll sit in the aisle at the airport. It's fine.
The thing you need to keep in mind also, if you're going to go for a bank with low bank fees, you need to see where the loophole is, because at the end of the day, the bank needs to make its own money. So that's why I also chose to choose to change banks, because initially I went for the low fees, but then every other transaction after 10 swipes was such a fee that it ended up being so much more at the end of the month.
No, look, at the end of the day, you got to do your due diligence, and you got to look at it meticulously.
Well, let's do that. Let's do it through the eyes and perspective of you guys at home, our amazing viewers. And let's take a look at some of your comments as you weigh in. And Lokhotso Senoko said, I choose both because that's a bank with my needs, low fees and rewards. Now, that's my kind of bank. The Bank of Wonders. I love it. I absolutely like that. Then Taryn's saying, definitely option
the rewards.
B, the rewards.
Listen, life's expensive. If you capitalize on these rewards, I mean, so many banks have partnerships with petrol stations. We all have to fill up our car.
Coffee.
So you get free coffees. So it's all for rewards. That's one way of making extra money. But I love how Kotha says both, of course, because money has no value as everything is expensive. So you go to the shop with 100 Rand and come back with 3 to 4 items. So every cent counts nowadays. Kashika says with low fees.
With low fees.
Understood,
it does speak to people's pressure points and I suppose where they are in their financial journey. So this conversation relates more to our last week's discussion around interest rates and that sort of thing. For me, it's more that kind of focus. But having gone through this kind of dressing down or stripping away process, I've been able to replace 7,000 Rand a month bills with 400 Rand a month bills without losing the value in that exchange. Just looking at phone, looking at banking fees, look, you can shave.
You and I need to have a conversation.
Yeah, hundreds, buddy. Or cents, hundreds of cents, that's all we've got. But it's worth going through this exercise. That's the bottom line. So whether you're looking for low fees or just those epic rewards that speak to your lifestyle, the needs that you have like Zozo, then Nedbank, they have an opportunity for you to really start that journey, okay? 25% cashback on petrol. That's something I really do use. 50% off at New Metro. I don't know when last you bought a movie ticket, but that's massive.
That's massive,
That
yeah.
really is. 50% off, 50% off your monthly fees for your spouse, and cashback on groceries, and that list goes on and on. Just ask the question.
There you go. So if you're serious about switching about and looking for a bank that has your back, then visit netbank.co.za today and find an account that really suits your needs. And there's always better value to be found. You just need to look.
Join the bank that's best for your loan. Choose up to 200 Rand cashback monthly with a personal loan. Apply for a personal loan and a savvy account today. Nedbank, see money differently.
Oh, well, listen, money matters, and we are now talking groceries and getting the most bang for our buck. And Woolworths is all about the difference, going that extra mile to offer customers exceptional quality. They'll also use local chicken suppliers and never import, and their chickens only follow a vegetarian diet. All they eat is grains and pulses, so why settle for anything less? We have Chef Clem in the studio, and he is here to show us how to make a delicious creamy paprika chicken that everyone will love. Now, Chef Clem, this is perfect, because on Wednesday nights, I have my girls' night dinner. We take turns to host, so I need hosting inspiration.
Right, and chicken's a winner. Chicken's always a winner. And I think since the history of Expresso, we must have done hundreds, if not thousands, of chicken recipes.
And isn't there that saying, winner, winner, chicken dinner?
It's a winner, winner. And this is a winner, winner chicken dinner. We never get bored of chicken recipes. This is a really good one. So what I did was, when shopping through the Daily Difference, my absolute favorite, I mean, it just came from Money Matters.
I'll give this a stir for you.
Thank you, thank you. And this is how you save. It's absolutely amazing what we've done with this chicken. So what we did was we portioned the chicken and we browned it off. Then we were thinking about sides. We went through Daily Difference, and there's so many options when it comes to sides. I mean, it's basically a menu and a meal plan laid out for you. What we did was we went for the creamy spinach and the butternut, but we also got the mash. Because what I want to do is when I do make it, this chicken dish, I always make extra. So because we got the sides on a deal, we're going to serve it with the creamy mash and butternut today, but tomorrow we're going to serve it with mash.
Oh, okay.
You know,
so you can stretch the meals two ways, but you can change up the side so it doesn't feel like you're eating the same food twice.
Absolutely. Let's swap sides.
Cool.
So I browned off the chicken and portioned it. You can portion it into 8 or 10, however many pieces you want to portion it into. Browned it in the pot. In the same pot, what you want to do is add some onions. Now, the rule is whenever you add onions to a pot, always add bay leaves. Okay, bay leaves go in, and red pepper. You can use red pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper, whatever pepper you have in the fridge that you haven't used yet.
Use it.
Use it. It adds a nice sweetness to it. I mean, paprika's already sweet, and we're not using smoked paprika. We're using the regular paprika. So that sweetness with the red pepper just complements this dish so much. You can turn the heat down a little bit.
Is there a good way to keep your bay leaves as fresh as possible?
Yeah, if you buy them and they're fresh, you can just let them dry out on the countertop or wherever you keep them. And then once they dry, they last forever.
Okay.
So I like doing that. I just buy like a whole lot of bay leaves and let them dry, because I put bay leaves in everything. And yeah, so I make sure I always have stock of it. So the dry selection's great, the fresh also good, whichever you have works. So peppers go in. And you want to cook this just until the peppers start to soften. But onions, you always cook on its own with the bay leaves. They're very selfish. They don't like browning with other ingredients. They don't like sharing. There we go. Peppers in. Then, where are we? Garlic. And again, there's no quantity for the amount of garlic you use in this dish.
It's up to personal preference.
You can go and add 40 cloves of garlic if you want, honestly.
Quick one, for a recipe like this, obviously crushed fresh garlic is yummy. Powdered garlic?
Sure, why not?
Okay, how much of that would you use if you didn't have fresh garlic on hand, but you've got the spices?
I would do like 2 teaspoons of the powdered garlic and then kind of taste it. Okay. It's got salt in there as well.
Yes.
So you want to taste it as you go along. And if you want to add more, if you feel like there's not enough garlic, closer to the end, you can just add another teaspoon of the powdered garlic.
Rather go slow, build up the flavor profile, then add too much and wonder, ooh, how can we get rid of this?
You can always add, you can't take out. So this is a little bit of time. This is shame.
Shame, that's not a lot of time.
It's not a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time for this recipe.
We don't. But I mean, if you're at home, use more. Like,
Why do we have so little time? Is it what the kitchen provided us?
We just have no time today.
Oh, we have no time.
Right? I don't know. Okay, use about 4 times.
That amount of
time. Or 5 times the amount of time. And also, don't go and buy thyme if you don't have it at home. If you've got rosemary, pour your rosemary in. If you have parsley, add that. But rosemary and thyme give you a nice herby note to it and it works really well with this dish. Then, paprika.
The normal paprika, not the smoked one.
Yeah, and I'm a freaker for the paprika. It's magic. It's like instant color, instant sweetness. And just so people out there know, this is not the spicy paprika. So
this
when
is the flavor paprika.
People associate the color with like, oh my goodness, it's hot. This has like 0 heat.
Okay.
None. So just get that in there. It's all about that sweetness. We'll borrow some of the oil. If you see your pot looking a little dry, you can add a little bit of water. Yes, you can.
Yes,
Instead
you can.
Of adding oil, because the chicken skin, and I cook the chicken with the skin on, is going to release some fat as it's cooking.
And some moisture.
And some moisture. Cool. Now, chicken. All of it goes back into the pot. Now we're going to add a little bit of water, and you want to cook it until the chicken's almost done.
Okay.
Almost done, because if you add the cream too soon, you see it starts reducing, and you want to have that cream added like really close to the end of cooking. And that way, you just simmer it for like 5 minutes, and everything just simmers down, comes together. The cream almost emulsifies all the spices, all the ingredients into one sauce. And there's something so satisfying about a creamy chicken dish.
How much cream do you add?
You can add
all
a
of
cup.
it, or
You can add a cup.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
And then-
500 ml, so just half of that.
I added
We've
half
gone
of
for
this.
Half of that. Okay.
If you accidentally over-reduce it and your sauce becomes too thick, add a little water, add a little more cream, and you're good to go. This will simmer down. The chicken will cook through. It takes about 20 minutes, not even that long.
And you'll be left with beautiful, creamy chicken like that. I mean, you can still see a bit of the red pepper
And you
coming
want that.
through.
You want that.
do want that. And then, of course, when it comes to your cream spinach and your butternut or your creamy potatoes, this is just something you pierce the film, pop it in the microwave, and you're good to go.
There we go. Girls' night sorted.
Girls' night sorted. I need this recipe. Well, if you need this recipe, it's available on our website, expressoshow.com. But what are these ingredients?
This is for the next part of the Culinary Hotline Bling.
Okay.
Where's your ting, ting, ting?
Ting, ting, ting.
There we go.
There we go. Well, Chef Clem, thank you for joining us. And Woolies has incredible deals, including a whole chicken for only 54.99 per kilogram. So you save 10 Rand per kg. Or if you prefer, buy the free-range whole chickens for only 59.99 per kg and also save 10 Rand per kilogram. This deal is available until the 4th of June at Woolworths. You can shop in-store, online, as well as on Woolies Dash. Enjoy.
Only fresh, never frozen. Only fed grains and pulses, never animal byproducts. Only local, never imported. The only chicken to choose. Only $59.99 per kilo for a free-range whole chicken.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we reconnect with our performer this morning. He's Durban-based musician with, yes, we have covered this at length, a gorgeous, beautiful, unique, raspy, soulful voice that has, I think, the whole local music fraternity captured. Freddie L is here. You blew us away with your first performance. Thank you so much. You represent this kind of collaborative vibe, and not just in Durbs. I think KZN has got a music scene that's just exploding at the moment. Your backyard beat sounds like the coolest collaborative effort. Take us inside the rationale there. Why have you created this platform?
So Backyard Beats was created mainly for artists that don't have a platform, because most of the times you have to wait to get booked to go play somewhere, and if you don't have anywhere to play, then you don't play.
How are you eating?
So,
yeah,
exactly. So Backyard Beats, we have like our slogan, which is it's created by the people for the people. So also for artists that are wanting to tour, come to Durban, and they don't have a place to play. So Backyard Beats is kind of created for that.
I absolutely love it. And we know how much these kind of collaborations matter within the music community. That's why we're seeing this quality of music come out of Durbs at the moment. Well, we're going to give you an opportunity to see the quality firsthand. And this is a beautiful song that I know he is going to do justice and then some. That's by one of our favorites, Ami Faku. This is Asibe Happy by Freddie L. Enjoy. I think Ami might give you that one, actually. I think he might actually give you that one. Reese, you are amazing, my friend. Absolutely phenomenal. I hope you are taking this on board. Freddie L is going to be gigging all around the mother city. We'll get into some of those dates and venues and keep him up on our social media platforms. Most importantly, if you can, download his music. New music on the way, dropping tonight at midnight.
Stick around for one more performance on your Feel Good Breakfast Show by Freddie L. What an incredible performer this morning. All right, 1 minute ahead of 8 o'clock. Let's get into a last round of your news headlines this morning. Starting off with national news, the government is going full out to combat wildlife crime and corruption, especially in the Kruger National Park, says Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment Minister Barbara Creasy. Citing the recent study published by Enact Africa on corruption and criminality in the Kruger, she announced that the National Integrated Strategy to to combat wildlife crime had been adopted by the cabinet. It's reported the probe found the internal corruption breakdown of trust and staff cohesion, plus worsening organised crime in Mpumalanga to be of greater threat to the future of the park than poaching. And the National Department of Health is urging doctors across the country to begin cholera treatment immediately if it appears that a patient may be infected, and not to wait for the test results. The department hosted a webinar updating the nation on the cholera outbreak. More than 100 cases of cholera have been confirmed at Hammanskraal in Gauteng, and 15 people have succumbed. Poor border management across the continent continues to increase South Africa's risk of imported cholera cases from other African countries. Currently, Malawi remains the epicenter of the outbreak in Africa. Turning our attention to international news for the last time this morning, Africa's largest oil refinery is up and running in Nigeria. Now, the country is a major oil producer, but most of this is sent abroad, and it's obliged to import refined fuel used in vehicles and elsewhere. As a result, the country often faces chronic fuel shortages. Now, this is the problem that the $19 billion refinery owned by Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, intends to tackle. Now, the plant has the capacity to produce some 650,000 barrels of petroleum products a day, more than enough to supply the country's needs. And Spanish police have arrested 4 football enthusiasts and supporters of the football club Valencia in connection with an incident of racism during a club match this past weekend. The Brazilian footballer Vinicius Jr. was playing for his club Real Madrid against Valencia when he was subjected to racist chants. The incident has put racism in football under renewed scrutiny. Brazil's President Lula da Silva has made an urgent appeal to the sports authorities to act decisively against racism, and has also requested a meeting with Spanish ministers, prosecutors, and the country's football federation. And we end up with this story. Yesterday was World Turtle Day, and many of our viewers' thoughts undoubtedly returned to Bob, the green sea turtle released into the deep blue from the Two Oceans Aquarium in Cape Town some 120 days ago after a lengthy period and process of rehabilitation. Now, meanwhile, Bob, who has since been confirmed to be a female, has swum an impressive 5,900 kilometers since being released. Now, she's still conserving energy and letting the currents guide her while doing loops in the Atlantic. Now, everyone concerned is very impressed with her adventures thus far and happy that she's keeping it laid back. She's truly still showing off her savvy swimming strategy and presently hanging out in waters some 5,000 meters deep at a temperature of 19 degrees Celsius. And now that the Two Oceans Aquarium has verified that Bob's actually a girl, well, there are rather high hopes for her creating new generations of little green turtles. The idea, let's be honest, of lots of wee little bobbies in the world is truly an exciting one. And that's where we leave your news headlines with that feel-good story for your Wednesday morning.
Thank you so much, Ewan. Let's kick off with some footballing news here back home. And Bafana's head coach, Hugo Broos, has called up 32 players for his preliminary squad to face old foes Morocco in our next AFCON qualifier next month. So closer to the encounter, Broos will trim his squad down to 23 players. Both South Africa and Morocco have already qualified for the continental tournament, thankfully, which will be held in the Ivory Coast on the 13th of January up until the 11th of February next year. And the squad includes 10 Mamelodi Sundowns players, as expected, but none from Kaizer Chiefs. Some notable new faces include Ikram Reyners, Given Msimango, and Kobamelo Korisang. Congratulations to the new caps. Then let's turn to European football now, to the Premier League. And Bukayo Saka has signed a new deal to stay at Arsenal up until 2027, saying the club is, quote, the right place to make the next step. So the English forward, he has scored 14 goals for the Gunners this season in their incredible season, contributing 11 assists as well. And at just 21 years old, amazingly, he's made 178 appearances for the club already and has featured in all Arsenal's Premier League games over the past 2 successful campaigns. Saka's previous deal was due to expire at the end of the 23-24 season. So great to see him still in the fold. And it's at the business end of the IPL in the Chennai Super Kings. They are through to their 10th Indian Premier League final. It was after beating the defending champions, the Gujarat Titans, in Qualifier 1. So opener Ruturaj Gaikwad top scored with 60 from 44 balls as Chennai posted an intimidating 172 for 7 after being put into bat. Gujarat were all out for 157 with Ravi Jadeja and Mahesh Tekshan both taking 2 wickets each. And Gujarat, they go into to qualifier 2, while CSK, they advance to Sunday's final. And that second playoff takes place today between the Lucknow Super Giants and the Mumbai Indians. Then time for accolades in rugby at this time of the season. And boy, has he not put his hand up this season. South African Franco Smith has been named coach of the season for the 22-23 United Rugby Championship campaign. So in just his first season in charge of the Glasgow Warriors, the 50-year-old led the team to a top 4 URC finish, as well as guiding them to their first European final. Smith helped the Warriors go the entire URC regular season unbeaten at their fortress home ground, Scottstown Stadium. Glasgow also won the URC's Scottish-Italian Shield, just to reinforce how spectacular his season has been. So we doff our cap. Well done, Franco. But that's where we leave our sport for this morning. Hopefully a little less competitive. Our roads. Zozo's going to take us through the traffic and some of the weather news.
Thank you, Graham. Let's start off with your traffic in Cape Town. In Bellville, there's some congestion on the N1 inbound. It's towards Yip de Jager ramp. Expect delays. And staying in Bellville, there's also heavy delays on the R300 North. It's at the N1 inbound ramp. Allow for more travel time. Then in Pretoria, there's been an accident on Motloledi Drive and Roslyn Road. Do expect delays as you approach with caution, and please exercise caution when passing through. Then in Suideroord, Johannesburg, there's also been an accident. It's on the N12 eastbound. It's after the Klip River Drive. That left lane's currently closed, and thankfully free-flowing traffic's being reported. That's your traffic. Let's take a final look at your weather. And we start off with some news. President Cyril Ramaphosa has launched phase 2 of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project. He participated in the proceedings with King Letsie III and Lesotho Prime Minister Sam Matekane at the Polihali Dam. Now, the launch commenced with a sod-turning ceremony. The presidency said he's heralded a crucial step on the journey to greater water and energy security for South Africans and Bosothos. Now, the project is a binational infrastructure scheme between Lesotho and South Africa. It involves the construction of a network of tunnels and dams to transfer water from the Orange Senqu River in the Lesotho Highlands to South Africa, and to utilize the water delivery system to provide hydroelectric power to the Kingdom of Lesotho. Well, that was your international, local and international news. Let's bring it back to your sunrise views. Fazia in GQ, overlooking the city lights, shared this view before hitting the roads to get to work. Then Sandra in Oudtshoorn snapped a fluffy spark of pink beaming through the sky. Nombini in GQ also enjoying the blissful tones of the sky lighting up the city. And last up, we have Vilna in Skopje, walking on the beach, capturing this moment of the water and crashing up against the rocks. How magical. I love that. Now, if you have a good morning view to share with us, please do so on our WhatsApp line. Our number is 063-408-8863. Let's get into your temperatures for today. Starting off in Polokwane, 9's your low, 25 your high. Mbombela, 12.28. Pretoria, 11.23. Johannesburg, 10 with a high of 23. Moving over to Mahikeng, 12's your low, 28 your high. Klerksdorp, 6.26. Kimberley, 11 with a high of 26. And Bloemfontein, your low is 4, your high 24. Then in KZN, Richards Bay, 17's your low, 25 your high. Pietermaritzburg, 11 with a high of 25. Durban, 16.24. Mthatha, your low is 9, your high 26. Then in East London, 18's your low, 26 your high. Cradock, 9.25. Gqeberha, 12 with a high of 25. And George, your low is 9, your high 23. If you're in Cape Town, 13's your low with a high of 17. Worcester, 10 with a high of 23. Sutherland, 3, reaching a high of 19 for today. And Uppington, your day starting off with 13 and a high of 32 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather and your traffic on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
All right, so something's messing with my head, man. So I went to boarding school. Yeah. And I basically slept, lived, and ate out of my enamel mug. That's how I did everything.
They are so versatile. I mean, I camp a lot with my family, and that's literally the only mug I ever take with me. coffees, teas, whatever else you want to drink out of it, oats in the morning, whatever the case may be. And you know what, I must be honest, there's nothing like an enamel cup because your coffee tastes so much better, for sure. And
like baked beans,
the clinging of ice in it as well.
Clink, clink, clink,
yeah.
clink. Ah, see, now we know what he actually
drinks. It
drinks.
rings a very cool bell, but yes.
Would you pay $200 for an enamel mug?
That's what we want to know, because we found this rather epically pink-looking mug at Cotton On, and we want to know your thoughts. What do you think of it?
How much does it cost to make an enamel mug? What makes this enamel mug so extra special? And do you have a memory or a picture of you eating baked beans out of your enamel mug? How much could you charge for an enamel mug? Well, $200. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Hit us up on our social media platforms. How are you feeling about a 200 Rand enamel mug? Well, it could be nice, though, with the ice.
It is nice with the ice. And let's be honest, everyone needs an enamel mug in their cupboard somewhere, you know, just for those occasions.
Must be the best enamel mug ever.
It is, must be.
Jacobs 3-in-1, the perfect combination of coffee, milk, and sugar. Jacobs, the magic aroma.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
South Africa, welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! Ching, ching, ching! Chef B's back in the kitchen for... Chef B, I'm sorry, the smells. I'm so distracted. It smells so good. We're celebrating Africa and all the influence when it comes through to food. This dish is a nice amalgamation of a lot of influence. You're going a little bit of Mozambican. I see some curry spices happening over there. What are we making?
So what we'll be making now is a lamb chinchado porchi. So early on, we left our samp to simmer.
Yes, we're going to finish up that samp. So the samp went in, mashed potatoes, cream going in.
Yeah, so we gooi in our
cream. Is the technical term.
And then we put our salted butter, my favorite. And then we give it a stir.
Oh, that looks so good. It looks so comforting.
Look at it. So beautiful getting together.
Because all that extra cream gets absorbed by the mash plus by that samp.
Yeah.
So you can't see the goodness and then you eat it.
Yeah.
And then it's there.
So we add Africa favorite, aromat.
It's an African favorite.
So you just sprinkle to your liking. And voila.
Voila.
You're done with shit.
Oh
with
my
the dish.
goodness. So that with this potjie we're about to make. Food coma, instant happiness, joy.
So we'll leave that to simmer and we'll serve later.
Yes. So we got our potjie, and normally you can use a flat bottom potjie, but we're cooking on gas today. And I'm actually seeing that the distance between the gas and the potjie is perfect because we're gonna go low and slow. So that's quite a cool hack. I like that. So we're talking lamb. And I see we got like a nice cut of lamb shoulder here.
Yes.
That's perfect. But you can kind of play around with the cuts with this one, right?
Yes, you can play around. You can use beef. You can use your lamb rump. You can use any meat that's on the bone.
And I like the
but
fact
you
that
have
it's
to
on the bone.
the trick is to cook it until it falls off the bone.
Because that bone gives you flavor. And then someone sits there with that bone and they're like, that's the idea. Okay, so into the potjie. How do we start this dish?
So what you'll do, I seal this.
And the seal is quite important because, I mean, that's the first element of flavor you can add to the dish. So you seal that off. Looks
and
beautiful.
then I added my marinade, which is paprika. Yes, a bit of salt, some olive oil, and 6 gun spice.
So this went onto the lamb first and then you sealed it?
Yes.
All right, I love it. Okay, so what's next? So
what I do next is that I take my lamb shoulder and I transfer it over to the pot.
Nice. I'm going to leave you in the ear. We've actually got some comments from social media. We do. Let's go. I'm going to take a walk over here. Shireen Abrams. Good morning, Shireen. She says, good morning, Clem and the team. Happy Wednesday. My favorite that you just made, fake cook and mince curry. Fake cook and mince curry, absolutely amazing. Also love a bunny chow. Loving the Culinary hotline as always. Have a super day, team. Thank you so much, Shireen. Josephine Pixton, our other presenter, she works for the show. Yes, she does. She's loving samp and beans all the way. Samp and beans is such an amazing dish. And wherever you travel around the country, you always see different variations and different versions of samp and beans. Samp and mash. That's a new one for me, and I can't wait to try it. Oh, we got more comments. Here we go. Okay, so we've got Kula Kakle says, the inside stomach of the cow's tripe. Tripe, you love tripe?
A favorite.
I'm obsessed with tripe.
It's
I love
my
it. I love
favorite.
it. Komoto says, apart from the lovely South African dishes today, I'm going with egusi soup and pap from Nigeria.
Egusi.
Hey,
with fufu
our
pap.
viewers have got some serious South African flavor taste happening right now. That's amazing. So let's go back to our potjie. Things are smoking. Things are happening.
So what I'll do now is that I'll add my
onion. The thing about a potjie is
so the
slow, right?
neck is already releasing the oils.
Okay, cool.
So what you have next is take your bay leaf, put it inside. I add my curry powder. In Portuguese, chinchado is a dish originally from Mozambique. So what they actually used to do, they used to take leftover meats from the previous night and they cook it in a sweet tomato sauce, a sweet and sour tomato sauce with a bit of chili in it. So what I did, instead of using the chili, I'm from Cape Town. We love our curry.
We do.
So I add curry to it.
I love it. So good. It's smelling amazing.
So what I'm trying to do here is we always have our traditional ceremonies happening, culture things. So what I did is try to change this dish over to be that. So we call it a tapas.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the meats that have been left over and people love eating it. They love it in the morning. They have it anytime during the day. So all the leftover meats which are actually spit out, they actually have it.
Oh, I love that idea. I love that idea again because it's a great way to take something left over and then feed our whole village again.
Indeed.
I love it. Okay, so spices are in there, smelling really good. What's next?
Add your paprika.
And again, this is just the sweet paprika. It's not the smoky paprika.
A favorite, fresh garlic. I only use fresh garlic when I cook. And then I add my bell peppers.
It is smelling amazing. And again, visually, you can see how good and rich that is. Served over that mashed and samp. Oh my goodness. Okay, stock joins the mix.
Yes.
Raisins, we talk about the raisins. Where do the raisins come in?
At the end.
At the end. Yeah. I like that little touch because it's also very Cape Malay. Little sprinkling of raisins in the food. It adds a subtle sweetness, and we see it a lot in like boboeti and dishes like that. You be just mixing cultures. I love it. Okay.
So you add a bit of olive oil in between. or butter if you like. You add your flour.
So that's just to thicken it up, get it nice and rich.
Yes.
And chutney. Again, another South African like staple.
Yep.
The chutney also joins in at the end. So once this all comes together,
you add your stock.
That's when we add the stock.
I use beef stock. If you like, you can actually mix chicken stock with beef stock.
Of course.
Yeah, it gives it a beautiful flavor. So you add your chutney. Once it's done, you add your chutney and you want to add your raisins.
Cool. Don't do this at home, South Africa. I'm about to tilt the pot so I can kind of let you see what's happening inside this pot because it smells amazing. So let's do this. Grab the handle. I want to kind of see what's happening inside this pot because it is absolutely amazing. You can see the richness and the color of all those ingredients coming together. And the idea is that it's going to cook for so long that that meat's going to fall off the neck. And then we're going to serve it over that beautiful, how do you say it? Creamy samp mash? Mash? Creamy?
Creamy mash samp.
Creamy mash samp. And again, this is another dish that will taste amazing tomorrow. So I'd say like just add all the leftover meat in it and let it keep on like getting better and better as the day progresses. But you know what? I'm going to taste this.
To preserve it more, you can always add your brandy and your red wine to it.
Excuse me, a little bit of brandy
but I
and
like
red
to
wine?
keep it simple.
Okay, let's go. Get a bit of that samp and the mash and the sauce. So impressive. You always impress me. I'm always so surprised how good the food is. The flavors are amazing. That sweetness comes through first. And we like our sweet food in South Africa.
Indeed.
Then that heat comes through. And that lamb is so tender. I'm not even... If you don't have teeth, this is a good one for you. You don't need them. That lamb just falls apart. And that creamy samp and mash, oh my goodness.
Gorgeous.
Get me a pillow right now. This is an amazing, amazing dish. South Africa, you need to try this dish. Chef B, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you too.
Can I take that home with
Hope
me?
to see you again, obviously.
G's fighting for this. G's fighting for this.
I think somebody's...
Hey, South Africa, it's been amazing. G's not getting this. I might share with him. Don't miss out on next week's hotline. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Send us through any suggestions that you want for what you want to see featured on the hotline. And you know how we're going to end this off, right? It's the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ching, ching, ching.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining the conversation, and it's about to level up. We're going to introduce you to an incredible young woman who is doing big things, and we couldn't be prouder. Rutendo Nyamuda is the founder and CEO of Teensware Media, a podcast company that's focused on the Pan-African podcast industry that is blowing up.
It is. Now, the company produces 3 original podcasts, the first being the podcast sessions. Then there is In My 20s and Inside Once Out.
Love it.
Now, Teensware Media also produces Africa's first Pan-African digital podcast magazine titled The Podcast Sessions. And in her career, she has worked across various stages and areas of the media field and entertainment industry, including journalism, TV, production, corporate videos production, PR, and podcasting. And she is very, very dear to us. And we have Rutendo on the line right now. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you all?
Oh,
yay.
We're good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Rutendo, it's so incredible to see you fly. I mean, you have really casted your net out wide. And having worked in all of these areas that I've just mentioned within the media industry, what is it about podcasts that appealed to you? And, you know, for you the most, and how did you make this, how did your podcasting journey start?
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me. This is, you know, a dream come true being on the other side. But, you know, throughout my entire career, I would definitely say that storytelling has been the key thread or key theme. You know, starting off as a journalist working for the likes of Forbes Africa to CNBC Africa, we're talking about business storytelling. And then on the Expresso morning show, we're talking about visual storytelling as well, and those visual elements. In PR, we're looking at corporate storytelling. But when it comes to podcasting, it's all about the audio. It's all about one's voice and how you're expressing your story in your voice or interviewing people and hearing their voices, which is the fundamental element and component of podcasting. And in my journey, as you mentioned, you know, started off in my house recording the In My 20s podcast, which was conversations with people in their 20s, and the, you know, main theme of that was the quarter life crisis. Then we moved on to producing certain business podcasts. Inside Once Out, in the middle of the pandemic, was an opportunity for African poets to express themselves about what was happening in the pandemic in their mother tongue, which we also translated into English, and then the podcast sessions, which is all about podcasting.
I love it. And I want to focus in on that because this is a tool, a fast forward to be able to tap into where I think media is playing out in real time every day. We can see this by the amount of social media kind of video footage that's born out of that podcast mechanism. But would you say that South Africa is behind the global scene? Or is this an untapped opportunity to use South Africa as that springboard where we can have a cheat code to kind of get front and center? How do you see South Africa in the bigger ecosystem?
So it's very interesting because South Africa right now and Africa as a continent is in an incredible position where we are crafting and creating the industry that we want to see. And yes, in comparison to other markets like the US, for example, there was a research done by the Edison Infinite Dial that came out last year that said only 48% of South Africans are familiar with podcasts, while 78% of people in the US are familiar with podcasts.
Sure.
So we have to understand that we also have to take factors into consideration. So when did the US and European markets start podcasting? What are the factors that allow them to podcast and produce on those levels? And where is South Africa and the rest of the continent? You know, factors such as understanding the business elements. You go to the US and there are US podcast production companies everywhere. You have the celebrity podcasters, so to say. Production is easier, sponsorship is easier. You're not convincing a sponsor or a business. You're not telling them what a podcast is from scratch. You're almost just saying this is the content I want to produce. But that said, there are a phenomenal plethora, if I were to say, podcasts in South Africa, on the African continent. In South Africa, the Mash Startup podcast, we've got the Level Lion show, we've got other incredible podcasters, Malume's Mike, After School is After School, and the list goes on in terms of podcasting for whatever genre, whatever format you're looking for. But there's an incredible opportunity for one to create. If we're even looking outside South Africa, and we're looking at the continent with what's happening, AfriPods, they are creating the largest library of African podcasts on the continent. You've got the likes of Africa Podfest and Podfest Cairo that are building these communities of African podcasts, and then obviously the podcast sessions with the magazine and news website. So now is the time to come on board, start your podcast, go into the business side of podcasting. There is something for everyone.
I love
Monetize, monetize, monetize.
But
I
also,
love it.
we have so many options and podcasts to tap into. Now, I want to know from you, what advice would you have for anyone wanting to start their own podcast? Because, I'm hearing this, I'm wondering, is it maybe not oversaturated? But you are the podcaster and the queen behind it. Where can they start, and how would you suggest they go about it?
It's a phenomenal and fantastic question. The first, I will answer it in the reverse. So how to start a podcast? You can start a podcast from your cell phone. If you are like, I want to start a podcast, I have no money, start for free. Use your cell phone and use free software to edit your podcast. If you want to go up, financial bracket, and you say, look, I've saved up a little bit of money, I want to buy a podcast mic, buy a microphone, buy a lapel mic. You're looking at between maybe 500 and 1,000 Rand-ish in that bracket. And if you have a little bit more money and you want to spend, buy yourself a podcast starter kit, and it'll come with a podcast stand, a mic, and the right cables. So that is on small scale if you want to start a podcast. On the extreme larger scale, and on the cover of one of our previous issues was Andy and Zweli from the Never Late Africa podcast, which is on Netflix. They obviously are an entire production. So that is the extreme production side. You don't have to go that far. But in terms of advice that I would give someone, one, have fun. Your podcast is needed, and have fun. And two, it isn't oversaturated, because I do believe that the way that you would create your podcast with your background, with your insights, with your expertise, and with your knowledge, that podcast has not been created. Definitely find places in the industry by listening to other podcasts to see what's missing, and you can fill in that gap. But I do believe strongly that the podcast that whoever is listening to this wants to create certainly needs to be created.
Well, Rutendo, you are proving it, living proof every day. And I'll go back to a quote that I butcher every time I say it and have overused it completely. But if you want to predict the future, create it. There is an opportunity now to tell stories like never before. And boy, doesn't South Africa have the stories to tell. Rutendo, we are so proud of you, girl. Thank you for opening up this world to other content creators to follow in your footsteps. And I think starting with a podcast for authentic content creation, this is a gold mine. So thank you so much. We are so proud of you, girl. Well done.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we love her, man.
Amazing. Well, listen, here on your Feel Good Breakfast show, we whip up some delectable dishes.
Oh, yeah?
But there's no one rule. No eating until the show ends.
Oh, for sure.
So everyone can hashtag share the epic flavors together. And Ewan is on a mission to, let's find out what it is.
Oh, man. You know what? We've got this cookie culprit in our studio. Now, the rule is that we're only allowed to eat food once the show is done, so everyone can share in the hashtag #ShareTheEpic, right? But there's food been going missing, and we don't know where on earth it's going to go. So my weapon of choice this morning, what I'm going to be doing is using the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Now, look, this has got some fantastic features. We've had a long-standing relationship with Samsung on the show, and every model they dropped was epic, but this is on another level. So I'm going to be using a feature called the Extreme Zoom, and listen, you can really zoom in up close and personal. So what I've done is I've set this up, I'm behind the scene, I've got a bird's eye view, and I'm going to catch this culprit red-handed. I'm going to close this case once and for all, and he's not going to see it coming at all. So I can see what's happening here. I'm going to zoom in. Ooh, what is happening? I'm going to zoom in. Look. Oh, no. I knew it. Kyk vir hierdie bra. Huh? Miskien kan ek nog so 'n bietjie gaan. Let's go. Wait. Ooh, die man geniet dit. Check that. Lucian. Red-handed, my brother. Red-handed. And there we have it. Now we can see. Look at that man. Oh, I've got you, boo. There's no turning back. You see, and while you do, waar gaat jy? Ah, this, you see, he's so sneaky. But there we have it. I've got it caught on video. There's no turning back. Look at that. And there's the man you can now see. So this is it. Case closed. Lucian, you cannot escape the epic features of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Listen, 100 times zoom. And now you can go about taking that photos. You can crop it, you can resize it, you can print it in 200 megapixels of epic detail. Case closed, my friend. You won't do it again. Got it?
Done. Done. Now we know unequivocally once and for all. And he is the first person to come and smack your hand when you try and take any of that food. Now I understand why, Lucian.
He's claiming it for himself.
Naughty, naughty, naughty. Ah, we love it. So we heard your pleas for another Samsung giveaway because we just love it. And they have decided to grant your wishes. So you stand the chance of winning another Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus to the value of, get this, 23,499 rand.
That's amazing. Now simply reply to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook, Twitter or Instagram page and tell us the following: about a moment you wish you had a better phone camera and why the Samsung Galaxy S23 will change your content creation game. Now don't forget to include that hashtag #ShareTheEpic in your answer. The competition will close on Sunday the 28th of May at midnight, so you've got some time to enter. There are T's and C's and those are found on our website expressoshow.com. Good luck.
Look at him. Look at that naughty bugger. We found him. Red-handed. And he doesn't care.
Ready? Wow. Mia, can you send me that? Sure.
Can you send me that?
Hey, can you send me that? Sure.
Make every training day epic. Buy the Galaxy S23 series at the Galaxy Watch 5 or Watch 5 Pro and get free Galaxy Buds 2 Pro valued at 3,999. T's and C's apply.
Now you can generously give a voice to Storytime. Visit our library of homegrown audio stories at cadbury.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining what is proven to be a beautiful conversation this morning. So much light and shade when we hone in on Africa Day. What an opportunity to celebrate. And every year on the 25th of May, that's exactly what we do. Celebrate, not commemorate. Celebrate Africa Day, a day to celebrate our country and continent's diversity, the successes despite the challenges, and of course, to highlight all the cultural and economic potential that exists here on this continent more than anywhere else in the world. Africa Day is also all about celebrating those victories of African unity through the fight against colonialism and apartheid in our context. And that wasn't just a South African journey. And just to see how far we actually have come in the midst of all this negative news.
Absolutely. So many different ways to take that initiative and celebrate, big or small. And we've got a scoop on how you can spend this day. And I love this because you can really get creative, because there's so much to celebrate with regards to the continent of Africa and everything that it holds dear. Now, since Africa Day falls within the week, it can be a fantastic opportunity for teachers to get involved as well. Now, teachers can incorporate some classic African literature, maybe even take kids on excursions to museums, galleries, or maybe historical sites as well, or watch movies or documentaries about African music, geography, agriculture, or anything, or any historical figures as well, which could be a great way to spend a day at school.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love these days at school where you got to like break from the norm. So this is an opportunity, guys.
Break out the projector.
Yeah, man, have a little bit of fun, man. Get one of those projectors, put it up on the school hall wall. But there is an opportunity to explore this beautiful continent around us. And a way to do that is not go to the ends of the continent, but to the ends of your street. Just look within your community where there is a need. Back the NGOs, the local charities, those individuals, the gogos in your community who are looking after the community. Use an opportunity like this to make real, tangible connections. Find out who's feeding the kids, who's mobilizing, who's looking after the homeless in your area. How can you feed your community in this way? That's what it's about.
It's a great way to go about learning as well as to what is going on around you. Maybe some struggles that you haven't heard of or known about, exactly with regards to your
close
own
to
backyard.
home,
Another thing that you can look at is educate yourself on the true meaning of Africa Day. Now, Africa Day also signifies the collective struggle against colonialism, which led, of course, to eventual independence, which is a huge step forward, you know, when it happened for the continent of Africa.
Completely, because it doesn't speak to the past. And I want you to try and think of this without the context of judgment, but rather what do we need to do now to maintain and continue the momentum, the inertia of change that's not based on our past or our future, that's based on your lived experience right now.
Exactly. I mean, that is the narrative. The past is there and is there for a good reason, and it's good to remember all the things that happened. But I mean, for now, we must use that knowledge and step forward and make this country as great as it can, the continent, you know, and use it to its full potential, because we got so much talent, people.
For me, the cheat code here is to educate yourself. It's impossible for you to drive this message and truly understand if you don't know. So get this, there are over 3,000 different ethnicities, more than 2,100 languages feeding out of that diversity. So read up, start learning another language. Just do a deep dive into another culture. Watch those documentaries. We are spoilt at the moment to have amazing pieces of cinema to take us into the emotional context of that journey, that story. The beautiful thing is when you start looking outward, you learn about what's inside. Hold up a mirror. Have a look at your own culture, your own connection to your country, but educate yourself first.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just a last point very quickly, something that we do very well here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, embrace traditional cuisine.
Oh, 100%.
Look at it. There's so much on the African menu that I'm sure you can fall in love with a multiple of different dishes out there. And this is one thing that you can educate yourself on, the foods, because we all love food and there's so much diversity.
Every day of the week, try something new and go for the staples, like the jollof rice I talk about all the time because I just love that kind of vibe. But for me, the best way to experience another country like Ghana, I just went street food.
Yeah.
I literally just went from stall to stall to stall because you're meeting the person behind the food, the culture behind, and you're dealing with 9th generation chefs living and carrying that culture forward. So I think we're going to celebrate Africa Day undoubtedly with food. How are you going to do it? What nation do you come from and what makes you special? Let us know if you're from Kenya, if you're from Botswana, if you're from Zimbabwe, one of our neighbors. Let us know why your country is amazing and we will do the same.
Oh, well, thank you, gentlemen. It's now time to put the spotlight and the stage ready for the ladies because there is no need to shy away from the topic of feminine hygiene. After all, it lends a hand in boosting your confidence. Now, Gynagod gave you the chance to win a 1,000 Rand hamper by telling us one thing about feminine hygiene you wish you knew when you were younger. And we have our winner. It is Winnie Willow. You are our lucky winner. Good morning, Winnie.
Good morning, yay!
Oh, I'm so happy to hear this. So just to comment on what you said, I wish I knew fragrance soap is one of the main causes of irritation and infection. Hashtag Gynagod, hashtag free to just be. Wendy, you are absolutely right. I think, how long did it take you before you realized that?
I've been using it for a year.
And that's when you noticed the difference?
Yes, definitely.
Oh. Well, Wendy, you are our winner. How does it feel being our Gynagod hamper winner?
I'm so excited.
Well, we're going to make sure you get some of these amazing goodies to you. But do you have a favorite Gynagod product?
Yes, definitely. I love the ultimate intimate wash because it keeps me dry all day long. Definitely a must-have for every woman.
Oh, definitely a must-have. I agree with you. Well, Winnie, congratulations. You are our winner. This hamper is on its way to you. And for you at home, giving freedom, it really gives you the ability to be your most confident self. And you can stand a chance to win a 1,000 Rand Gynagod hamper like Winnie just did. And here is how you can enter. Catch Expresso this May as we highlight the importance of feminine hygiene, proudly brought to you by Gynagod, who are also offering 10 Expresso viewers a chance to win their own hamper full of a comprehensive range of Gynagod feminine hygiene products to the value of 1,000 Rand. Simply reply to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages using hashtag Gynagod and hashtag free to just be. That's this May from the 1st to the 31st right here on Expresso. T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on S3. And what a Wednesday it has been. But we're not done yet, so stay right where you are. For the last time, joining us this morning is Durban-based musician with a unique, raspy, soulful voice. We've been enjoying it this morning. Freddie L, my friend, once again, welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, especially for those people tuning in just now. It's good to have you, man. Your voice is so unique, and it transcended across the studio this morning, man. It's wonderful. You're bringing some good vibes.
Thank you.
I want to chat to you about collaborations. I mean, how do you view collaborations? Because I think it can bring such a unique twist to any musician's career.
I think it's a lot of learning as well. Like, I believe that if you collaborate, you kind of unlock another layer within you. You know what I mean? Because if I'm singing, you're hearing something else, maybe that I'm not hearing. Then I'm listening to you, I'm also getting something else. Then it's like you're tapping into a new energy.
Exactly. And maybe you open up something, a different space, a different direction for you as a musical artist.
That's what it is.
Well, that is exactly it.
Yeah.
And is there anyone particularly that you still look forward to collaborating? I mean, we have wonderful artists.
Plenty. I love Manana. I love Ami. I love... there's a lot of artists that I would love to get in studio with. I mean, we tried something with Good Luck, but... hopefully we get back to studio again and see if it works.
All right. Yeah. You are booked up, you're busy, which is a good thing. Your diary is full. What's the gig guide looking like? I know that you're busy in the mother city.
Yeah, there's 3 shows here in Cape Town. It's Armchair, House of Machines. I'm forgetting the third one.
That's how many there are.
Yeah, you can, if you go on our socials, you can see what's going on. And then back in Durban, we've got Gin and Tonic Festival. We've got In Love Youth Choir in Paledo. Yeah, it's got quite a few shows.
Oh, I can definitely see you like at a festival vibe, man. You're definitely bringing that vibe. People are going to be enjoying your music. Listen, we're looking forward to your last performance. What are you bringing to the table?
This song is called Abafana Bancane. It's a song I wrote about my daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it basically means small boys. So be careful of the boys kind of thing.
I like it. Look at you being a caring dad. And listen, is she taking after her dad? Is she getting into the music?
Yeah, both of them. My son as well. So they love dancing. Their mom is a dancer. Okay. So, yeah, the house is quite rowdy.
I can imagine. All right, my friend, for the last time, Freddie L, take it away.
Soze bakulanda abafana bancane soze bakulilela soze bakuthanda abafana bancane amigos bazenza ingozi sebedlala ngengozi kumnandi baby mandemi nawe Atwele, upitas, mapetitas, shagitas, makamanga chinya chista, you may no rambongista. I tell it, I'll be gone now, be gone now, be gone now, be gone now, Gumnandi baby, Gumnandi baby, Gumnandi baby. vika Asikiska tisakjala Noma vetu ngiyakona Asilin ubitas Upetita shingitas Batoma ngejin ngejista You may know rambangista Star Kumnandi baby Kumnandi baby Kumnandi baby Soze bagutan Soze bagulan Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Freddie L live on your Feel Good breakfast show. This man's voice.
Yeah, it's
You
so
know,
unique.
it's just, I just said to him earlier, I said, dude, those high notes that you're able to hit this time of the morning, I mean, it's just impressive, dude. I get a throat ache for his sake.
I got a heartache. It's the emotional content and everything that he's singing. Absolutely beautiful. New music out at midnight tonight. Watch this space. This young man is going places. And, of course, with Reese in the corner as well. Absolutely amazing. Both of you, please take a bow, gentlemen. Thank you for feeding the heart and soul into today's show. We are so grateful.
Yes,
Love you,
come
man.
on. Listen, can I just make you guys aware?
Okay.
There's food left. Ever since I put my little
There was a lot more here.
Clouseau-
Yeah, exactly, but there was a lot more here before Lucian got hold of it, okay?
He ate all the chicken. He left the sauce for us.
At least I saved the sauce, which is the most important thing.
Thank you, love.
Again, Lucian, you got caught, my friend. There's no chance that it's going to happen ever again. And we're going to have food. I secured food for us.
I really do appreciate it. So we've been belaboring the point that you really explore your culture through food. So if you're going to go to a place, ask a local what the best food is, then they will tell you what the culture is. It's as simple as that. So we put it to you guys. What your favorite African and South African dishes are? Palesa Malope is saying pap, mogoru, and cabbage. It's a staple, baby.
Kashika says samp and beans with mutton and hot sambal.
Nice. Nice. Patrick Mklongo saying stem bread, ujukwe and beans or dumbles and chicken. I love it. You can tell the South African favourite palate.
Yeah, you can. Rose says chakalaka, pap, fried chicken or grilled steak or board.
There we go. Give us a whole menu.
Yeah,
Rose.
exactly.
I
Why
like
say
that.
or when you can say and?
Love it. Any more? Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig in because I've been waiting for this samagwinya since this morning in our culinary.
Is that what
hotline.
you made?
With Clem, yes.
Chef Clem?
Yes.
Do you know what a lovely way of doing a social breakfast
Sorry, this is me done talking for the rest of the morning.
Yeah, no, you're allowed. Put that in your face hole, my friend. Just plug that hole. I love it.
I love the way you say it, yeah.
Do you know what you do as a breakfast to explore different flavour profiles that you enjoy? You make yourself some fat cook and then a whole lot of different fillings. So you have the mince filling, a curried mince filling, some scrambled egg, jam and cream. Yeah.
Jam and cheese. Lots of butter.
I absolutely adore it. So I'm going to have a little taste, just seeing as there is no protein left, but...
this curry mince is just filling my whole sinuses right now.
Well, listen,
And it's so good.
if you want to get your hands on all of these dishes that Chef Clem made today, you just head on over to the Expresso website. It's expressoshow.com. If you want to make it easier, we also post a picture and the recipe or the link to the recipe on social media. That just makes it so much easier to find. You know how often my aunt messages me, she's like, please, can you send me that recipe that you guys made on the show today? And then I can't be cheeky and be like, here's the website. I have to go look for it, but it really is easy to find.
And I do actually go back and follow the recipe. So thank you so much to our foodie team and our camera crews who make these amazing behind-the-scenes kind of recipes. It's so good to know that the food actually reaches the deserving recipients every morning. Just look at the smug look on his face. Buddy, what do you think, seeing as we made you such a feast today?
Living my best life right now, having the chicken with the sweet potato and the cauliflower mix with the
Cauliflower, ooh, yum,
And
yum.
how was it? Was it lekker?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
And he's judgy, eh? Lucian's like
I'm
the
very
most judgy person on set. That's in fact what we pay him for, is to just judge us daily. And I still figured out how to get a whole plate of food to himself without us capturing it on him.
Everyone is just scared of him, but that's why. Yeah.
Just a little bit. No, we love you, Lush. Thank you so much. You deserve probably every plate of food in this building. We have shown the roadmap, guys, the ways that you can celebrate the bonds, the connections between our cultures. When we look at the level of diversity on this continent, that is not friction, that is an opportunity to do things that have never been done before. That is the potential of Africa, and it all rests on you. We love you so much. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Adios, muchachos.
Bye.
This is actually delicious.